watching a production of South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Good evening, South Dakota, and welcome once again to the Dakota Dome on the University of South Dakota campus in Vermilion, and the South Dakota High School Football Championships once again this year on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. I am Tom Neiman, and great to have you along this evening. And yes, it is a Thursday night. We're here for 3 days this weekend. The Activities Association has stretched this event out over the 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We've already played two 9-man games here today. We'll have one more here tonight between Colome and Iroquois in the 9B championship. And then tomorrow, two 11-man games with the 11A and 11B championships. And then the big schools will finish it up on Saturday night with O'Gorman and Roosevelt going at it in the 11AA championship. But already two champions crowned here this afternoon, and then this morning actually as Scotland and Gettysburg went at it in 9A. Scotland wins its first ever second ever state football championship as they beat Gettysburg 20-16, the final in the 9A championship. And then this afternoon in 9AA, it was Parker winning that school's first championship. Parker beat Elkton 26-8 was the final in that one. Here this evening, we have another first-timer in the Dome. The Iroquois Chiefs come in at 11-0. They will take on the Cowboys from Colome for the 9B championship, and we will see if Iroquois can continue this trend of first-timers winning it here at the Dome and see if they can keep their record perfect as they come in at 11-0. The guys in the booth tonight are Craig Maddock and Mike Henriksen. And gentlemen, upstairs to you for your thoughts on this first one.
Thanks, Tom. Glad to be with you tonight. I'm Craig Maddock. He's Mike Henriksen. And Mike, when we talk about Class 9B football, we always think about maybe the Avon Pirates. They were hoping to go for a three-peat this year, but they're not here this year. And I think the biggest surprise, we always talk about rankings throughout the whole year, and there's a team here tonight that wasn't even considered in the rankings throughout the whole year, and that was Colome.
They literally came out of nowhere, and the Colome Cowboys, you know, they've had some pretty good football down there along Highway 18. Gregory and Burke and Colome and Winter, they've been pretty good through the years, but this year Colome was actually in danger of not having a season. They start off the year with just a few players out. Kevin Gracer is hired at the last minute. They get a bunch more kids out, and it took a while. They struggled early in the year. Talking with Tanner Donovan and some of the guys from the Winter radio station out there, they were talking about the fact they struggled to start with. But boy, when things started to come together, they really came together, and they picked up some tough road wins.
When you look at Iroquois, one of those teams that have completely dominated their opponents defensively. They've outscored their opponents 428 to 82. They've been playing great defensively, but you know, it's amazing. Could this be it for Iroquois? Because Iroquois is in talks. They're talking with DeSmet. They may be co-oping in football here down the road.
You know, we talk about Highway 18. Listen, there's a lot of pretty good football played along Highway 14 too. Arlington and DeSmet, and now Iroquois getting in this year. But yeah, these are schools that, quite honestly, with the you know, I don't want to get political or any of that, but at the same time, with the changing economy of our state and the changing demographics, you wonder how many more years these teams are going to have the opportunity to compete on their own in this type of situation. And so, good for Iroquois. I think that's been the best theme this weekend, is how many new faces are coming down to the Dome.
Looking at tonight, I like the 3 nights of high school football.
Love it.
Love it, because there's not that pressure when a team wins a championship. Typically they're celebrating on the field, and 2 minutes later they're told to get off because we have another game to play.
Right.
So the High School Activities Association extends it 3 days, which I think everyone's going to like down the road.
I agree. And a reminder now, next year it'll be 11A and 11B on Thursday, correct? And then they'll flip-flop the 3 9-man schools on Friday. But I agree wholeheartedly. I think this is great. This afternoon, there was such a more relaxed atmosphere on the field, too, because the teams were able to celebrate and take the team photos, and Mom and Dad were able to get all of the things taken care of that you need to get taken care of when you're in a state championship. And so I really like this. It's been a much more relaxed pace. I think everybody's fresher. Even the people working are fresher. and so this really works out very, very well. And hats off to the High School Activities Association. We also saw some real good crowds this afternoon, and I got to be honest with you, I'm surprised we've got a pretty good crowd here this evening.
When we come back, we'll take a little better look at what's happening with Colome and Iroquois as they play for the 9B championship, as you're watching the South Dakota High School Football Championships on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Farmers Union Insurance has served South Dakota's heartland since 1948 and knows that our state's future depends on the talent and leadership of today's youth. That's why Farmers Union Insurance proudly supports South Dakota Public Broadcasting and South Dakota High School Activities Association as a community partner, helping to develop our youth into tomorrow's state and community leaders, investing in a strong future for our state. Farmers Union Insurance, your hometown agent.
High school is an important time for every South Dakota student, a time when the plans for their future begin to take place. The many unique and varied activities afforded to students in South Dakota helps them in their development as they prepare for the road ahead. I'm Shannon Poppinga.
Core Trust Bank is proud to be a sponsor of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. For over 75 years, Core Trust Bank has been dedicated to the youth of South Dakota, and we will continue for the next 75.
And you can bank on that.
Team up with nutrition. Zinc strengthens your immune system. Iron helps carry oxygen to muscles. Protein is necessary to build a strong body. Team up with beef. It's What's for Dinner, brought to you by South Dakota beef producers through their checkoff program.
They're singers, dancers, musicians, and actors, winners of a nationwide arts competition, and national heroes. These veterans prove it's not disability that counts, it's ability. Don't miss the National Veterans Creative Arts Festival, an evening of music, dance, and healing.
Saturday at 6, 5 Mountain.
Welcome back to the Dome in Vermilion, the South Dakota High School Football Championships on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. The 9B championship tonight. It is the Colome Cowboys and the Iroquois Chiefs going at it. And let's take a look at the Cowboys from Colome, located about 11 miles southeast of Winter, down in the south central part of the state, just north of the Nebraska border down there. An enrollment of 50 or so in the top 4 grades for the Colome Cowboys. Kevin Gracer is their head coach. This is the 4th time in the finals for Colome, but it's been 19 years since the last time they were here, won the 9B championship back in 1987. In the regular season for Colome this year, 5-3, lost 2 of the first 3 games and then won 4 in a row. Lost to Scotland, who played here this morning. Scotland won the 9A championship game, so an understandable L on the regular season there for Colome, but get into the playoffs for the Cowboys. Wiped out Viborg in the first round and then knocked off Avon, the defending state champions. Colome was down 22-20 in that game, scored with no time on the clock to win it 26-22 and get by Avon. That snapped a 38-game home winning streak for Avon. Colome then traveled way out west and beat Harding County in the semifinals to get here to the Dome tonight. And you take a look on film at the Colome Cowboys. They'll be wearing the white jerseys tonight. And a junior running back, number 45, will be Derek Beck. He'll be the one to watch. Had the touchdown to beat Avon in the playoffs. He had 4 touchdowns earlier this year against South Central. And Kevin Gracer, let's start right there. Talk a little bit about Beck and what he does for you.
Yeah, Derek is our go-to guy on offense. He runs the ball very well. He's our speed guy. Also, he runs with power too. He's not afraid to run over you. And we'll use Beck as much as we can. If not, we'll let Josh throw the ball too. So we'll see what happens.
You guys are pretty good at throwing the ball around. Got a lot of different receivers.
Yeah, we throw the ball to at least 4 different guys. So we got good hands. We got some speed at receiver, and we'll use them tonight.
Talk about that Avon playoff game. Kind of take us through late in the ball game. What happened there?
Wow, it was that's an understatement. That was just a great game for our boys. It was a big confidence builder, and we had the ball with a little under 2 minutes at the 50-yard line. Made a drive, made a big 4th down catch down to the 1. We kept the drive going. Josh was heady enough we were out of timeouts. He gets down, gets the line up to the line of scrimmage and spikes the ball. And then that enables us to give it to Derek to punch it in for the winning score with no time.
And you talked a little bit about a little while ago when we were talking. You didn't know at the beginning of the season what you had here, but at what point in the season did you start to think, we might be a pretty good team once the playoffs start?
Well, when we faced Avon the 3rd game of the year, they beat us decisively, but we felt after that game that we were ready to, we could play with them. We played a physical game. We just hadn't had time to put the offense together and click. And then after that, the 5th game of the year, we won against a very good Kimball team in Kimball, and also won that game with no time on the clock with Derek punching it in again. So, we've been in a lot of close games, and hopefully that'll carry over for us tonight.
You're a Cologne guy, right? Grew up there, and you've had these kids for a lot of years now, right?
I've been there all my life, and these boys, since they've been 4 or 5 years old, I've got to coach baseball with them, and I've just had them all their life, and they're just hardworking, a bunch of kids, and they're just fun to be around.
Hey, appreciate you coming over. Have a great one tonight.
Thank you, Tom.
Kevin Gracer is the head coach of the Cologne Cowboys, and for the starting lineups for Cologne, let's go upstairs to Craig and Mike. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Tom. And the starting lineups brought to you by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. And Mike, we'll talk a lot about these guys because a lot of them play both ways, as typical in 9-man football.
Yeah, especially at the 9B level. And there you see Gracer and Kaler and Atterbury and Heidemann and Bertram. And 4 out of the 5 seniors on that offensive line.
That's key.
Meanwhile, Sherman, Schwartz, Beck, and Bisick, the senior running back or wide receiver. And again, a lot of different weapons for the Cologne Cowboys. So, by the way, just a note about Kevin Gracer, too, the head coach. Kevin is one of the guys who was a heck of a high school athlete himself in high school. And if memory serves me, I believe he went for 63 in a ball game in high school basketball. And that was before the 3-point line. So Kevin, also an outstanding amateur baseball player for a lot of years. There you see, as you mentioned, defensively, pretty much the same names, Kaler, Heidemann, Beck, and Gracer. And in the backfield, they'll go with the 3 or 4 linebacker set, and Bisick will be the safety with Kartak, Sherman,
Vober,
and Bertram,
and Bisick.
All right.
The Cologne Cowboys, 8-3 on the season. You know what? They've beaten Avon and Harding County, 2 teams that were expected to be here for the finals.
And did it on the road to boot.
More on the way as we're getting ready for the 9B State Championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
What's more important than your family? Your business? Your retirement? Nothing's more important. That's why you need Trusted Choice, independent insurance agents who can help you protect what matters most.
Trusted Choice agents are in every community and can offer you customized policies through a choice of insurance companies. You know what's important.
To find a Trusted Choice agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com.
My name is Dr. Heloise Westbrook. I came from Vermont, but I was originally born in upstate New York. Coming to Aberdeen and setting up a practice was excellent. I've established what I feel some very long-lasting friendships. I enjoy Aberdeen's bike trails. It does offer the opportunity for me to get out. Life is good in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
We're your friends and your neighbors. We're a part of your communities. That's why your local Touchstone Energy Cooperatives are proud to be a sponsor of South Dakota high school activities.
When we shine as one.
Lunchtime. What are you in the mood for?
Something different. Something... What's the word? Something...
New. The word is new.
As in Subway restaurant. New blackened Cajun steak sandwiches.
Subway. Eat steak.
It's the Indian and the white guy, Williams and Reed. South Dakota's favorite funny men are making a special appearance live Friday, December 8th. Join us in person at the Knutson Theater on the USD campus in Vermillion. Tickets are available by calling 800-456-0766. Tickets are just $10, and all proceeds benefit the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting. The show will air live on statewide SDPB television. Seating is limited. Call 800-456-0766 today.
Back at the Dome, approaching the kickoff of the 9B championship game. It is Colome and Iroquois. And let's check out the Chiefs from Iroquois, located in central South Dakota, 17 miles east of Huron on Highway 14 is where you'll find Iroquois, of an enrollment of 58 in the high school. Kenny Heater is the head coach, and the first time here in the football finals for the school of Iroquois. Check out the regular season, and Iroquois unbeaten. Wessington Springs kind of tested them. Highmore Herald tested them, but nobody beat them in the regular season. Went 8-0, and then in the playoffs, 56-12 over Montrose. Much closer against Sanborn Central in the second round, and then beat Grant Dual by 30 points in the semifinals to get here to the Dome tonight. And when you take a look at the film on the Iroquois Chiefs, you will see a lot of number one senior quarterback Kyle Schoenfelder. He had 5 touchdowns in the playoff win over Montrose. And 42 is Abram Smith, a 190-pound senior running back for Iroquois, and we'll hear his name called quite a bit tonight for the Chiefs. And Kenny Heater is the head coach. Congratulations. Good to have you here tonight.
Thanks for having us. We're thrilled to be here.
Hey, go back over the last 5 years since you've been the head coach there. Have you kind of been building to a team like this, or is this a surprise this year?
We kind of have. Our record over that span is 43-15. We've made it to the Final 8 twice. Both years we lost to Kimball, and Kimball went on to win the state title. We kind of learned what it took to be a team of this caliber to get here, and this year we finally broke through.
They've got a pretty good running back here tonight, but you've faced some pretty good ones all season. The Grassel kid from Sanborn Central is one of them, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. Grassel is very quick, but the Beck kid impresses me. He runs bigger than his size, and he's got nice speed, and he's just a quality back.
Talk a little bit about next year. We want to look ahead a little bit, but Iroquois, you might end up in a co-op situation with the Smet next year, not sure, but what's the story on that? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. That's one thought that could happen, but I know the two boards are going to meet when our football season's over, and we'll see what happens.
We'll look ahead at that time. Tonight, you've had some injuries defensively with Harstead and Bish, and those guys, are they ready to go? Are you healthy tonight?
Alan Harstead is probably back to about 95% with his ankle. Cody Bish tore his ACL and won't be able to play tonight, although he's suited up, and we do have a special play for him, so hopefully he's going to get in.
Really? All right. Hey, Kenny, appreciate the time, and have a good one tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Kenny Heater is the head coach for Iroquois, and for the starting lineups for the Chiefs. Back upstairs, gentlemen.
Thanks, Tom. Of course, Iroquois' offense. You got the Smith brothers, Adrian and Abram, and you'll hear about them a lot tonight. As starting lineups brought to you by Sioux Valley Clinic.
And there you see it, Brown and Harstead, Jacobs, Schwartzman, and Soderman across the front.
Nice
only
size.
One senior there, but good size, you're right. Meanwhile, the skill players are all seniors, except for Michael Fast, who's a junior. But Adrian and Abram Smith, they are twin brothers, and Kyle Schoenfelder is the quarterback. You know, and meanwhile, let's take a look at the defensive side of the ball. A lot of familiar names there. Robert Brown will start at an end position with Harstead, Schwartzman, and Smith. And meanwhile, the defensive backfield, it'll be Fast, Smith, Langland, Hopper, and Schoenfelder. And Craig, I was trying to remember, and again, I might have missed some of this, but over the course of the years, I think the last time that Iroquois was on the state stage athletically was in 84 or 85. I didn't get it looked up, but 84 or 85 when they went to the State B boys basketball tournament. Todd Corco, who was an outstanding player for him, an all-stater. Clint Kleitz had come over because the Carthage school had closed, and so they were able to pick up some players there. But Iroquois, like you heard Ken Heater say, they've been close these last few years, and they have been putting winning records on the board.
People can understand Kimball getting in the way.
Absolutely.
To get to the state tournament, Kimball has been here a number of times, and Iroquois trying to make it 1-for-1 on their trips to the Dakota Dome. They've outscored their opponents 428 to 82. And when you look at Iroquois, you know, one of the talks too about merging with DeSmet, the question is going to be, do they go to the 281 conference, which would be westward, or do they go to the Dakota Valley Conference, which of course would be eastward? 281 conference, Highmore, Wessington Springs, Woolsey, Wessington. You got Hitchcock, Tulare there. Or do you go to the Dakota Valley, Elkton, Esteline, Coleman, Egan?
Yeah, because Iroquois is right on the east edge of that 281 conference. You're correct. They would be the west edge, however, of the Dakota Valley Conference. So, yeah, that I got to think that geographically the Dakota Valley Conference would be a bit closer. But at the same time, again, we've seen so many shifts in conferences, and you know, some of these schools are locked into their conference, and they'd just as soon play more schools their own size. I would guess that if you put Iroquois and DeSmet together, you got to be looking at least
they
a
mean 9A.
Sure, yeah. And so yeah, that'll be an interesting discussion. But I tell you what, everybody from Iroquois is here tonight. I can just tell you that right now. Everybody from Iroquois is here tonight, and I know that they would, no matter what happens to the school next year or 5 years down the road, they would absolutely love to get that big piece of hardware to put next to the school bell of the one that burnt down, the building that burnt down. The school bell sits out in front of the Iroquois High School. So I know they'd love to get that state championship football trophy.
Mike, what's going to be key tonight, we say it not only in the 11-man championships, but the nine-man championships. You got both clubs going both ways. Conditioning is a factor. The heat is a factor. These kids are playing in tennis shoes. They're not used to that during the season. I hope that the coaches have been on them the last couple of days to get hydrated for tonight's ball game.
No question about it, because it will take a toll, even though it's, you wouldn't think about that in 72-degree weather here inside the dome, but it certainly will be a factor.
We'll get you the kickoff moments away. The 9B State High School Championships here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2006 South Dakota High School Football Championships are funded in part through your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Mid-Continent Communications, and by Dakota Bank.
No matter where you go across the Dakotas, you'll find a sense of spirit, a sense of belonging. As you pass through our cities and towns, you'll also find a company working hard to build our communities by supporting the very reasons we live here: our schools, our events, our neighbors. It's a company that's been here for over 50 years and will continue to be here down the road. That company, Mid-Continent Communications. Part of our community, part of your life.
It's good to be in Dakota Territory. We have invested in the community regions we serve. We're proud to be in dozens of hometowns across the Dakotas. Dakota Bank, here for you.
High school is an important time for every South Dakota student, a time when the plans for their future begin to take place. The many unique and varied activities afforded to students in South Dakota helps them in their development as they prepare for the road ahead. I'm Shannon Poppinga.
Core Trust Bank is proud to be a sponsor of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. For over 75 years, Core Trust Bank has been dedicated to the youth of South Dakota, and we will continue for the next 75.
And you can bank on that.
They're singers, dancers, musicians, and actors. winners of a nationwide arts competition, and national heroes. These veterans prove it's not disability that counts, it's ability. Don't miss the National Veterans Creative Arts Festival, an evening of music, dance, and healing.
Saturday at 6, 5 Mountain.
Welcome back to the Dakota Dome in Vermillion. Moments away from the 9B Football Championship, I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen. Game 3 of the day. Cologne, the Cowboys, and Iroquois, the Chiefs. Iroquois 11-0. Iroquois, their first trip to the Dome. Cologne won this tournament back in 1987. And Mike, it's hard to believe this is we've got 25 years of history when it comes to the football playoffs.
Yeah, it has been amazing. First ones in 1981, excuse me, and they really have. It seems like the time has flown by, though. A lot of these champions that we see from past years have had such outstanding teams that they've, really stood out in your mind. But 25 years of Class 9B football.
And when you look at the previous champions in Class 9B, except for Kimball and then Tripp back in the early 80s, of the 25 champions, you got about 21 different champions in Class 9B.
Yeah, it really has been. And again, that comes, it's so tough to put together a program at 9B because of the fact you are dealing with such small numbers. You see Viborg over Faith there, Roslyn over Lake Preston, Tripp Delmont hammered on Del St. Mary's, Corsica got Timberlake and a dandy. We have really seen some interesting teams come through, but you're right, Class 9B, we probably have fewer repeat champions than any other class in high school football.
Ran into Tom Culver, the head coach of Avon, before our broadcast tonight. They were trying to go for a three-peat. Of course, they won in 9A and then, of course, dropped down to 9B last year and won it. Tell you what, it was Cologne who knocked out Avon. A lot of folks thought that Avon, they were on like a 30-game win streak. They knock out Avon, and then Cologne goes out to Harding County and takes out the Ranchers, who were the top seed in Class 9B.
And again, Cologne beats Avon on the last play of the game on a ball that bounced off of the Avon defender into the hands of a Cologne receiver. They spiked the ball with 3 seconds left, and then they're able to score on the last play. But yeah, this has been a real road trip for Cologne, and of course Iroquois fired up for it too, and we've got the kickoff just moments away.
We will introduce you to the players when we come back. The 9B Championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2006 South Dakota High School Football Championships are funded in part through your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Dakota, and by Sioux Valley Clinics.
Well, that's it, Mom. I hope it all fits in my dorm room.
And to my wife, for 20 wonderful years.
Why don't you do the charity walkathon with me, Mom?
No matter how life changes, Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is there, giving you a number of ways to take charge of your health so you can meet life's events with confidence, like more plans to fit your needs now and in the future, along with hassle-free service. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The difference is blue.
Sioux Valley Trauma 5. There when you need us.
VHS or DVD copies of this South Dakota High School Activities event are available for $19.95 plus $5 shipping and handling. The shipping and handling fee will be waived for members of the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Place your order by phone at 800-456-0766 during regular business hours, or write to SDPB Television, P.O. Box 5000, Vermillion, South Dakota 57069. You'll find an order form online at sdpb.org.
Welcome back to the Dakota Dome in Vermillion. The Class 9B Football Championship of South Dakota, just moments away. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen. Glad to have you with us tonight.
That should be an awful lot of fun. By the way, Craig from Sioux Falls Sports Radio, 1230 KWSN.
And Mike Henriksen, the host of the Sports Max.
That's right, on 14 great radio stations across the state of South Dakota, and we certainly appreciate those affiliates. But Craig, one other point to bring up about Cologne, and we'll do that in the pregame here as we're almost down to our starting moment. But some of these kids from Cologne have already played on a statewide stage, and we'll talk about that coming up during the first quarter.
All right, let's go to the public address announcer for the starting lineups. He's one of the best in the state, Greg Merrigan.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the South Dakota High School Activities Association, along with its corporate partners, Sioux Valley Health Systems and Hospital, CoreTrust Bank, Farmers Union Insurance, and Ramkota Hotels, we welcome you to Vermillion for the 2006 State Class 9B Football Championship game. We remind everyone that good sportsmanship on the part of coaches, players, and spectators is crucial to the future of athletics at all levels. The South Dakota High School Activities Association supports the need for proper behavior on the part of everyone in athletics. Be a sport and support good sportsmanship during the football championship games. All right, fans, we're ready to meet our starting lineups, but first, let's meet the cheerleaders for both squads. First, for the Iroquois Chiefs, Brittany Decker, Brittany DeYoung, Emily Lynch, and Melissa Schwartzman. And the cheerleaders for Cologne, Emily Heath, Kristen Cahoy, Candace Shippey, and Ashley Widener. And now, let's meet our starting lineups. First, the offensive unit for the Iroquois Chiefs. At quarterback, number 1, Kyle Schoenfelder. At tailback, number 42, Abram Smith. At fullback, number 55, Adrian Smith. At wingback, number 24, Michael Fast. At an end, number 44, Robert Brown. At a guard, number 70, Alan Harsted. At center, number 84, Zach Jacobs. At a guard, number 75, Chris Schwartzman. And at an end, number 88, Caleb Soderman. The Chiefs are coached by Kenny Heater. And now let's meet the starting defensive unit for the Cologne Cowboys. At a defensive lineman, number 73, Ty Heidemann. Defensive line, number 45, Derek Beck. Defensive end, number 81, Ted Kaler. Defensive end, number 32, Derek Grazer. At linebacker, number 30, Ben Kartak. At linebacker, number 42, Josh Sherman. At linebacker, number 40, Ethan Vober. At linebacker, number 35, Rustin Bertram. And at safety, number 20, Jordan Bisick. The Cowboys are coached by Kevin Grazier. The officials for this 9B championship game, the referee is Keith Krapinski of Beersford. The umpire, Dick Barta of Vermilion. The linesman, Matt Heeb of Sioux Falls. The line judge, Jeff Freeman of Sioux Falls. The back judge, Marty Miller of Viborg. And the alternate is Steve Mayer of Vermilion. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise, remove your hat, place your hand over your heart as members of the Lower Brule Junior ROTC Color Guard present the flag of our country. The members of the Color Guard unit are Corporal Janessa Driving Hawk, Honor Guard. Command Sergeant Major Casey Solier. Command Sergeant Major Sean Johnson with our national colors. Corporal Cody Wright, member of the Honor Guard. And Captain Kevin Wright Jr., the Color Guard Commander. The Color Guard is advised by First Sergeant Edward Biggers. Would you please join in singing our national anthem as it is played by the combined bands from Corsica High School and Stickney High School under the direction of Mike Nepodal. Following the playing of our national anthem, would you please remain standing until the colors have been retired?
Colombe and Iroquois. Colombe gets here by beating Viborg, Avon, Harding County. Iroquois gets here by beating Montrose, who was here last year in the 9B championship, Sanborn Central, and Grant Dual.
And I tell you what, that Grant Dual win really put Iroquois on the map. People were a little curious as to their strength of schedule. And again, all you can do is beat the teams that are on your schedule each year, and that's what Iroquois has done. But when they took out Grant Dual, who has traditionally been very good, then they certainly proved to the rest of the state that they're for real.
Iroquois advanced to the title game with playoff wins over Montrose, Sanborn Central, and Grant Dual. Colomb advancing to the title game with wins over Viborg, Avon, and Harding County.
Both teams, of course, out there shaking hands. They have already had the coin flip, but they will reenact it here prior to the game.
You almost have half the team out there already, Mike.
Yeah, no kidding. And Colomb won the toss, but they will defer.
Colomb won the toss and deferred.
Good call, Mike. It is the fourth trip to the Dome for Colomb. They were here, Mike, when the football playoffs started back in 1981. They made it in 87, and then Colomb won it in 88. So it's been a long time coming for Colomb to get here.
Yes, these another one of those new teams. Yes, they have been here before, but it has been a long time, and these kids weren't born the last time that Colomb was here. So
ouch.
Keeping with that theme of fresh faces here at the Dome.
And a great story about Kevin Gracer, the head coach of Colomb. Here, 9 kids came out for football a day before the season was to start. They didn't have a head coach, and then Kevin said, "I'll do it." Never has coached varsity football. He knew these kids, coaching them in baseball. And Mike, these kids at Colomb can play some baseball as well.
Speaking of that, these kids from Colomb have already played, a lot of them, on a statewide stage. A lot of them play high school baseball with Winter. The Winter Colomb team hosted the state championship this year. Also, quite a few of them play Legion baseball, again with Winter. Winter was also the host of the state Legion baseball tournament this year out at Leahy Field, the big, gorgeous facility out there. So a lot of these kids from Colomb have played on a statewide scale.
Ty Heidemann with the kick. And the kickoff to Abram Smith, but Mike, that one's coming back.
Yep, there's going to be an illegal block in the back on Iroquois on this opening kick.
The opening kick is returned by number 42, Abram Smith. Tackled by number 40, Ethan Vober. 2 flags.
Officials are talking about it there at the 40.
Yep, couple of flags. The second flag came in just to help mark the spot of the actual foul. It was a chop block instead of a block in the back. So mark it off from the spot, and Iroquois will trot out their offense, ready to go.
Kyle Schoenfelder is the quarterback. He's got twins behind him, Adrian and Abram Smith. This is an offense geared toward the run, Mike. You've got Kyle Schoenfelder, the quarterback. He's rushed for 1,200 yards. Abram Smith has rushed for just over 1,000.
You know, and so many offenses at the 9-man level obviously are designed around the running play.
You got an illegal block. You hold the race on the receiving team. Be first down.
You know, this afternoon in that Parker game this afternoon, we saw a 6.5-minute drive. You don't see that in 9-man football very often.
Adrian Smith is the fullback. Abram Smith, his twin brother, is behind him, and not much there, is already in on the tackle. Josh Sherman, one of the linebackers for Colomb.
Yeah, Sherman with a nice job of reading that, and again, not much push there by the offensive line on that first play. Interesting, though, this first quarter is really going to see, you know, a lot of nerves, and once you get out there and start hitting people, knocking them around a little bit, get used to falling on the carpet, that sort of thing. It takes about a quarter to adjust when you are here in the Dome.
Here's the shotgun with Langland, Ferguson, and Hosper coming in, and it's just a quarterback keeper. Schoenfelder, he's got the distance. 80 yards. 19th touchdown of the year for Kyle Schoenfelder. And Mike, oh man, he got to the outside and nobody was there.
Tremendous blocking at the point of attack. They did a great job. Watch them set up that alley. Everybody's got a guy. Some of them had two. Schoenfelder gets outside and he's gone.
The Cowboys will go for two. Schoenfelder in the gun. Adrian Smith standing next to him. The toss, and it is good. 2-point conversion. It was caught by Jared Hopper. Wow, just like that, Iroquois.
2 plays, 81 yards.
That guy called Iroquois the Cowboys. I meant the Chiefs.
Yeah, Iroquois.
I got excited.
I understand. It's easy to do. 2 plays, 81 yards, 56 seconds on the drive. And there's the throw. What a nice catch. Right down at the goal line by Hopper.
Well, if you're Colomb, it's easy to get a little excited and a little nervous at this point, down after 2 plays.
But at the same time, Craig, they've been down and on the road prior to this, so this is nothing new to them coming from behind.
Stephen Ferguson will kick it off.
Pretty darn simple for Iroquois.
Derek Beck and Ben Kantak back deep, but this one is kicked short. Oh, big hit right at the 40. Oh, that was a big time hit by Iroquois' Abram Smith. Here's Colomb, their quarterback Josh Sherman. He has passed for almost 1,000 yards. Here's that big hit. Right place at the right time.
Yep, no question about it. So Colomb has taken a right to the head. Let's see how they respond here.
Schwartz and Beck behind. Quarterback Sherman. Quarterback option. The give is to Beck, and Beck has some room. Oh, nice open field tackle. Kyle Schoenfelder.
Schoenfelder was the man who stopped him, or we would have seen Beck streaking down the sideline for a touchdown. But again, good pickup on your first offensive play, picking up 7 or 8 yards.
Mike, there are still a few schools across South Dakota who play 9-man football on an 80-yard field.
Yep.
But there's getting to be most of them now that will play on the 100-yard field. In fact, there are some conferences, Mike, that require 100-yard fields in 9-man football.
Absolutely. So some teams get a little bit more used to getting outside around the ends.
Mitch Schwartz gets a first down. Check that, Ben Kartak with the carry.
And what a block by Jordan Bisek. Jordan just got into his man and stayed there. And a nice pickup for the Cowboys. They pick up the first down.
Hard to believe if we're going to be in a horse race here or not. Both clubs can score a lot.
Yeah, I really didn't get a feeling for how this one was going to go. I just wasn't sure, but we certainly have the early makings of a shootout, don't we?
Straight up the middle, Derek Beck. He has rushed for over 1,000 yards, 18 touchdowns.
Beck, such a solid player, 5'11", 170, but he plays bigger than that. The junior runs so hard.
Give you the Iroquois defense here. The front four, Robert Brown, Alan Harstad, Chris Schwartzman, and Adrian Smith. The linebackers, Michael Fast, Abram Smith, and Jeffrey Langland. And back deep, Jared Hopper and Kyle Schoenfelder. 2nd and 8.
The I formation this time.
Quarterback keeper. Sherman gets hit big time. Gain of 2. It'll bring up 3rd down in about 5.
Yep, they'll give him forward progress up to the 36-yard line, but that was just mistiming between the quarterback and the fullback. If you're going to let the fullback go past you without giving him the ball, you have to let him go past you so that he can throw you a block. Watch this.
Whoops.
They end up running next to each other, and that doesn't do any good for either one. So
doesn't fake anybody out.
Nope, not at all. And so a little bit of lack of patience on Colom's part.
Officials timeout.
Abram Smith getting the helmet put back on.
Ethan Volber in the game, split wide out. Has Sherman in the gun on 3rd and 5. That quick flare out to Volber, and Volber can't find any room. Open field tackle by Abram Smith.
Boy, I tell you what, that didn't come up with any positive yardage, maybe half a yard or so, but what a play by Volberg. He could have just as easy have been drugged down for a big loss on that, but he battled hard.
Now 4th and 5, and Colom will go for it.
Oh, yeah.
This time no shotgun. They'll go with that I formation. 4th and 5 from the 36 of Iroquois. Quarterback option. Late pitch. Beck will get the 1st down. Inside the 25.
And that time an outstanding job on the pitch. That time the patience to bring the defender to you and then make that late pitch. It was a little... It hung in the air for a little while longer than I'm sure that Colom coaching staff would have liked to have seen, but excellent decision for the Cowboys.
It's all timing. It's all timing. Beck just has to wait for it. He has to be very patient to wait for the ball.
Yep, and Sherman made a good decision there.
Back in the shotgun for Sherman. On 1st and 10, just a basic quarterback keeper. With a nice hole up the middle and a nice 11-yard gain and a 1st down for Colom.
Getting into the red zone here, the scoring zone for the Colom Cowboys. Again, a 2-play drive for Iroquois to put them on the board. An 80-yard touchdown run by Kyle Schoenfelder, but Colom has come back on their first possession, doing a very nice job of just doing what they do best, run the football.
Kartak and Volber split out wide. Just a little shuffle pass. That's Derek Beck. And
Abram Smith in on the tackle. The fans wanted to fumble there, but there was no question that the ground caused that fumble.
Also, Jared Hopper got licked pretty good late in the contest.
Again, Colom just mixing it up, though, going with the pitches wide. That time the shovel pass. Coming out in a lot of different offensive sets. This time they'll go with 2 wides. And a lone setback.
On 2nd and 5. Back. And holding back as long as he could was Michael Fast.
Michael Fast. Man, oh man, that was a good job by Michael of holding on. But what hard running by Beck. Derek Beck, look at this. He just gets great blocking. They seal off right along the right side. Now he cuts it outside. And Fast holding on for all of his life. And it's a good thing, or Beck goes in to score.
Iroquois scores on his first possession. Colom trying to do the same thing. Back to the eye. 1st and goal. Quarterback keeper. Oh, Sherman is hit right at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit. In fact, Alan Harstad was there, and so was Robert Brown.
Yeah, Robert Brown really did a nice job of shooting the gap there. No play, or no gain, and it brings up 2nd down and goal now.
Let's see, I'm thinking about what, 7-8 plays already on this drive?
8 plays. That was the 8th play of the drive.
May have been the 8th different formation we've seen.
Excuse me, 10th play of the drive. 10th play of the drive.
Back in the eye. Beck, dot in the eye. And the give to Beck. Beck will get his 19th touchdown of the season. What a strong runner, Mike. You called it there. He's 5'11", 170. I think he seems to be a little bit better built than that.
Yeah, he runs bigger than that. He gets outside, gets a couple of nice blocks, but then he just goes right through fast this time and in for the touchdown. We talked about that 6.5 minute drive this afternoon in the Parker game. We've just seen one there. That was 11 plays in the neighborhood of 6.5 minutes.
Going for 2. Right up the middle, that is Ben Kartak, and he is not going to get in.
Boy, just shy.
5:40 to go, opening quarter. Iroquois 8, Cologne 6, as you're watching the 9B State Championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Farmers Union Insurance has served South Dakota's heartland since 1948 and knows that our state's future depends on the talent and leadership of today's youth. That's why Farmers Union Insurance proudly supports South Dakota Public Broadcasting and South Dakota High School Activities Association as a community partner, helping to develop our youth into tomorrow's state and community leaders, investing in a strong future for our state. Farmers Union Insurance, your hometown agent.
What's more important than your family? Your business? Your retirement? Nothing's more important. That's why you need Trusted Choice, independent insurance agents who can help you protect what matters most.
Trusted Choice agents are in every community and can offer you customized policies through a choice of insurance companies. You know what's important.
To find a Trusted Choice agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com.
Let's take a look at the replay here of this extra point. There's the handoff going over, making the dive for it, but they ruled that he was just shy on the run. So Ben Kartak, the sophomore, not able to make it in to the end zone.
Abram Smith, Kyle Schoenfelder back deep for the Chiefs.
Iroquois with the roundhouse to the jaw. Cologne answered.
Smith looking for a wall. Up to the 40. Nice return.
Boy, these
for Abram Smith.
They run so hard, and a big-time hit by Josh Sherman there. Big-time hit.
Cologne again, that last drive by Cologne, 11 plays, 58 yards. Micah went 5:21, 5 minutes, 21 seconds.
That was an outstanding drive by Cologne. Now Iroquois, who only needed 2 plays to score, they'll have their second possession.
Adrian Smith, the fullback. Abram Smith, the tailback. They go to Abram right up the middle. Broke a couple of tackles, but then just shy of midfield. Tackled by Rustin Bertram of Cologne.
Ben Kartak in on the tackle as well. It's going to be just shy of that first down. But
you know, you talk about Dome-itis or the mystique of the Dome. You're in the championship, the butterflies. I think those have pretty much gone away by now.
Yep, I agree. Those 2 opening drives for each team, they're smacking each other hard, and you just get down to football.
Second and less than a yard, and Adrian Smith will get the first down into Cologne territory.
Got it down to the 45-yard line. Hard run by Adrian Smith there, right up the middle.
First down. The first down for Iroquois, even though they lead 8-6.
That's true. When you have a 1-yard run and then an 80-yard run for a touchdown, you're right, that is their first down.
I think we'll see a lot of the I formation here for the Chiefs. Adrian Smith Lunges for about 5. Adrian Smith, Abram Smith, again, they're twins. The leading ball carrier, though, is Abram. 1,000 yards rushing. Adrian Smith, about 350 yards rushing on the season.
But I tell you what, on that one, Adrian was the lead blocker, and a nice job of shaking him off by a couple of Cologne defenders. They were able to tackle Abram for not much gain, or about 4 or 5 yards, though. I mean, that's...
We're used to seeing bigger plays.
We're used to seeing bigger plays, yeah.
Adrian Smith, big stop at the line of scrimmage. Rustin Bertram is there again for Cologne. Abram Smith with the carry, but yeah, Rustin Bertram with the tackle. Third
down.
and 4.
Yeah, 3rd and 4. This is the first time that Iroquois has faced this evening.
And they bring in the wideouts, Ferguson, Hopper, and Langland.
This is one unique 9-man alignment.
Quarterback keeper by Schoenfelder. He's going to get the first down.
And gone.
Oh, he stopped and then taken down at the 10.
Ethan Vober was the man who hustled over there. I thought he was gone. That was the same play that he busted for 80 yards, only to the other side this time. Vober had a man on him, but was able to shake off the defender. Take a look at this. Leading the way is Adrian Smith. And look at Vober here. He'll shake off the block by Smith and end up with the tackle of Schoenfelder.
It is 1st and goal. Great tackle. Bottom of the tackle, that's Ben Kartak with the tackle for Cologne.
Kartak, 5'9", 145, and a sophomore, but from what we've seen thus far, he is absolutely fearless.
And Iroquois bringing in that wide open offense again. They go with that spread offense with Jeffrey Langland, Stephen Ferguson, and Jared Hopper coming in. Each time they've done this, though, I think Schoenfelder's done the quarterback keeper. They want to spread out that defense. This time Schoenfelder. Will he throw it? No, running into traffic and knocked out of bounds just inside the 10.
But again, he was essentially keeping that ball cocked up by his ear. I don't think he had any intention of actually throwing that. I think he was using it as more deception. By the way, prior to that, Schoenfelder had been averaging 55 yards a carry on 2 carries, but that'll drop his average down to 36 yards per carry.
Michael Fast reporting in for Iroquois. And they'll go with that spread offense again. Adrian Smith, the only one standing next to Schoenfelder. Schoenfelder will pump it into the end zone, and that one is caught! Jared Hopper, touchdown!
What a big-time catch. Take a look at Hopper in the back of the end zone. Great touch by Schoenfelder. Goes up. Hopper is the only one who can get it. Gets his both feet in bounds. That's as good a catch as you're going to see all weekend long.
The Chiefs will go for 2. They spread it out again. This time the pitch to Adrian Smith, and the race to the corner is good. And Iroquois 2 for 2 on their possessions here in the 9B championship. And they lead at 16-6.
You know, and Craig, this is where those extra points are so important in 9-man football. Even though one team has 1 touchdown and the other team has 2 touchdowns, it's still a 2-possession game because of the 2-score difference, because of the fact Iroquois has been able to hit their extra points. Hey, I want to remind you, log on for all the stats, information from this afternoon's games, and more at sdpb.org. And don't forget about your chance to tell us what you think about the ball games. Go to sdpb.org and join the discussion board. That's right, a discussion board. Click on that link on the main page. We want your comments. Log on now to sdpb.org and click on discussion boards. As I said this afternoon, those discussion boards, they may just catch on.
Yeah, this whole computer internet thing might just catch on someday.
I'll tell you what.
That and FM radio
that's right.
and color television.
Yeah, that's right. Although I got to tell you, I thought we'd be living a lot closer to the Jetson lifestyle by now, but not quite yet, I guess.
3 for 3 on possessions. Every time someone has touched the ball, they've taken that drive in and scored. See what Cologne can do this time. Cologne will start at the 33.
Not bad field position to start. Again, good hard run by Ben Kartak.
Nice shot there is Ben Kartak coming into play. And the shot of Robert Brown there, number 44 for Iroquois. Leads the team with 5 sacks. Already 22 points scored here in the first quarter. All right, we got trickery now as Derek Beck going to the outside. Little gadget play there. We'll need a replay on that one.
Yes, we definitely will. I did not see that play at all. Had to be on the inside handoff.
Deception was the key on that one. A gain of 3 for Derek Beck.
Let's take a look at this. Oh.
Well, he got the ball already.
That's right.
We didn't know he had the ball.
Yeah. We were watching it coming to the other side, but
I formation this time for the Cowboys. Sherman. He'll dump it out to Beck. Nice one-handed grab by Derek Beck, but a better tackle by Michael Fast, covering him one-on-one.
That was a big-time tackle by Fast. An excellent catch, you're right, by Beck coming out of the backfield, but Fast with a hard tackle of a tough man to bring down.
Loss of 1 on the play. When you look at Cologne, they can certainly pass the ball with over almost 1,000 yards passing. Sherman has thrown 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Although tonight he is 3 for 3 for 3 yards.
Now Cologne will try to spread things out here on 3rd and 7. Here's the draw, but Iroquois is not fooled at all. Alan Harstad with the stop.
And I got to tell you right now, the folks from Cologne are having a little bit of trouble with that shotgun snap. That's really throwing things off. It's a little bit late getting there, going a little slow, and you're not able to do that against a quick defensive team like the Iroquois Chiefs.
Derek Grazer is back deep to punt for Cologne.
Schoenfelder to return it.
Grazer averages at 28 yards. This is a nice high punt and gets a nice bow. Oh, Schoenfelder dangerously picks it up, but advances it another 5 yards.
You're taking a chance grabbing it like that and trying to advance, but he got a good solid handle on it and kept it from bouncing any farther anyway. So let's see if Iroquois can go 3 for 3 on their possessions.
First punt of the game, 34-yard punt by Grazer. And if you're Cologne, Mike, you haven't been able to stop Iroquois on their last 2 possessions. And the Chiefs start out in that I formation. The fullback, Adrian Smith, drugged down by Ethan Vober. And he got a little help from Rustin Bertram.
Boy, Ethan Vober, just a sophomore, but he's made some big tackles here in this first quarter of play. Take a look.
Look at the blocking.
Yep, outstanding blocking right at the line of scrimmage, and then Vober just hops on to Smith and goes along for the ride until help can arrive. But that's going to do it for our first quarter of play.
16-6, Iroquois with a lead, the 9B state championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Valley Trauma 5. There when you need us.
Oh, Betsy, get Mom.
It's good to be in Dakota Territory. We have invested in the community regions we serve. We're proud to be in dozens of hometowns across the Dakotas. Dakota Bank, here for you.
Good shot of Kenny Heater, head coach of the Iroquois Chiefs in his 5th year. First quarter stats. Total offensive plays. Now that's an old one there I got there.
No, total plays are 11 for Iroquois, 14 plays for Cologne.
Yep. Now this is an old one here I got. Just about even. Total yards, 154 for Iroquois, 59 for Cologne.
All of Cologne's coming on that opening drive of theirs.
Kyle Schoenfelder is the quarterback on 1st and 10. Second back through is Abram Smith. Now short yardage, so that brings out the spread offense now for the Chiefs as they bring in Langland, Ferguson, and Hopper.
And I got to tell you, like I say, I've not seen an awful lot of 9-man football over the course of the last couple of years. Used to cover it on a regular basis, but this is one unique offensive set for 9-man football. When you go with essentially the 3 linemen, 2 wide ends, 1 guy in the slot, then 2 in the backfield.
Quarterback keeper by Schoenfelder. We've seen that a couple of times. He's broken 2 tackles, and now a race to the end zone, and he'll knocked out at the 12. Great speed by Kyle Schoenfelder.
Schoenfelder just doing a terrific job on that, but again, it's Smith and Smith that are doing the blocking. Watch them both lead here, along with the kick-out block there by number 70. Great job by Alan Harstead. Then the Smiths lead the way. 144 yards rushing for Schoenfelder here in the early going.
And they're going to keep that spread offense in.
Why not? Cologne hasn't solved it yet.
Adrian Smith. Only a gain of about 3. You got the Smith brothers.
And a penalty on the flag.
Surrounding Kyle Schoenfelder in that shotgun formation.
And I believe we're going to have a hold on Iroquois. Only the 2nd penalty of the game.
It is a hold.
Both of those penalties have been on Iroquois. One was on the opening kickoff and illegal block below the waist. You know, just want to take a moment here while they discuss it. We talk about this on a regular basis, but congratulations to the officials who reached the Dome. This really is their state championship, being chosen to participate in a state championship game. Again, Keith Krapinski from Beersford, Dick Barta of Vermilion, Matt Heeb of Sioux Falls, Jeff Fryman of Sioux Falls, and Marty Miller of Viborg. That's the crew that we're seeing on this game.
Illegal block in the back on the offense, 10 yards. Still 1st down.
Thank you, Mr. Krapinski. 1st and 20. Schoenfelder. Nope, doesn't want to pitch it. Instead, pretty good defense that time by Cologne.
Yeah, that was. And that was Ben Kartak, again, who really disrupted that play. Schoenfelder does pick up positive yardage out of it, but Kartak with a really nice job busting in and derailing the pitch option, making Schoenfelder keep it inside.
As you see our stats at the bottom of the screen, and you can follow all the stats, of course, by going to sdpb.org. 2nd and 14 from the 16 for Iroquois.
Now 2 men in the slot on the left side.
Jeffrey Langland, touchdown, Chiefs. They're making it look really easy, Mike.
That was just a tremendous throw by Kyle Schoenfelder. They set up 3 men on the left side. Schoenfelder gets plenty of time, sets, lofts it right into the hands of Jeffrey Langland.
That is his 3rd receiving touchdown on the season.
And that's 2 touchdown passes on the night for Schoenfelder.
Going for 2, and Schoenfelder will take it himself. And will he get in? Yes. 10:22 to go first half. Iroquois 24, Cologne 6.
Hey, we want to remind you about a terrific program that is coming up here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. 100 yards, 100 years, a century of high school football in South Dakota. We'll take a look back at the coaches, the kids, the characters that made South Dakota football what it is today. It's coming December 4th on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
What do you mean characters?
Yeah, some of the more colorful folks that have
there's
graced
been
the
a few of those.
sidelines, and yes, there has. But I tell you what, experts from across the state have been interviewed for this. John Egan from the Argus Leader, longtime sports editor. Also
Jerry Miller of Montrose.
Jerry Miller of Montrose, who is a great sports historian. Roger Tolan from the Rapid City Journal, who is a great sports historian. They have old footage
I
and
can't
more.
wait to see it.
Yeah, this is going to be terrific. So I'm looking forward to it. It airs December 4th here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
If you're Cologne, get your offense going and get the defense going as well, because Iroquois has scored every time they've touched the ball.
Yeah, you've really got to score if you're Cologne here just to hang in this. And if you don't score, then you certainly have to get a stop, or this one is going to get out of reach.
Ben Kartak dumped at the 32, dumped by Robert Brown of Iroquois.
Nice tackle by Brown. And again, keep in mind, Cologne has been behind during the course of the season, and especially in the playoffs. But they need to get that offense rolling. They had an outstanding drive. The first time they had the ball, they didn't do anything fancy. They mixed it up a little bit, but mostly kept it between the tackles. Let's see if they go back to that here.
Nice shot of Kevin Gracer, the head coach of the Cologne Cowboys. Ethan Vober split wide out in this I formation. Sherman pass in and out of the arms of Rustin Bertram.
Bertram was open. The pass just came up a little bit shy. But again, that now puts them in 2nd and long situation.
Our third 9-man game of the day. Congratulations to the Scotland Highlanders winning the 9A championship, and the 9AA championship goes to the Parker Pheasants.
First 9-man championship for Scotland. They won an 11B championship.
Second back through. That's Derek Beck, and just not a lot there, Mike. Couple of yards for Derek Beck. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Now you put yourself in an uncomfortable position if you're the Cologne Cowboys. Beck, though, is one of those guys. He's about one shoulder, lowered shoulder from busting outside and picking up huge chunks of yardage. Is limping off the field is Alan Harstead, the 6'3" senior for Iroquois.
3rd and 7 for the Cowboys. The quick pitch to Derek Beck, and Beck is going to be short of the first down, even though he lunged close to the 44.
There was that lowered shoulder, though, that I was just talking about. The difference was, I believe it was Robert Fast that had a hold of his ankle again, did not allow him to pick up enough for that first down.
It's going to be 4th and less than a yard. And yeah, pretty good yard here, and it looks like Cologne's going to go for it.
Yes, they are. I think Kevin Gracer feeling the same way we are, that you need to get that offense rolling.
Quarterback keeper gets the first down.
Yes, he did.
Josh Sherman had just enough to go to the right side of his center, Curtis Atterbury. and easily gets the first down.
A gutsy call at this point in the game, but a necessary call because, again, you haven't shown that you can stop Iroquois, so you're going to have to pile up points.
Sherman getting up, limping a little bit.
Good look at some Cologne fans there. You know, Cologne was so good in girls basketball back in the early 90s. They had a heck of a run back then.
1st and 10 Cowboys at their own 45. Nice quick hitter up the middle. Mitch Schwartz. 35 yards on the run for Mitch Schwartz.
Outstanding run, and again,
check that. Kartak was the one on the run.
Look at Ben Kartak. He gets through a tackle there. Nice job of running. He saw the one defender, didn't see the other one, but big spark. But again, Cologne having success between the tackles.
Schwartz is the fullback. Beck is the tailback behind Josh Sherman, the quarterback, on 1st and 10. Quarterback keeper is Sherman. Good way to keep that high-scoring Iroquois offense off the field is you just keep holding on to the ball. Nice, long, sustained drive.
Absolutely. That was an outstanding drive. That we talked about it. 11 plays, 5.5 minutes. The opening drive for Cologne. They're putting together a similar type of drive here.
This time, a couple of ends brought in.
Cologne has rushed the ball 16 times for 99 yards.
Quarterback keeper. That's going to be close to a first down, Mike. Looks like Sherman got the first down.
Yep, they'll mark him down right at the 15-yard line. Schoenfelder with the tackle, but it's another first down for the Cowboys. And it all goes back to that going for it on 4th down and 1.5 yards.
Whether it's 9-man or 11-man, you really need a 1-2 punch. Some schools have a 1-2-3 punch, but certainly, especially in the 9-man ranks, if you can get a 1-2 punch, you're going to have a lot of success as Iroquois has taken a timeout.
Yeah, that's a great point, Craig. You know, we've seen some 9-man teams come in that have essentially one option.
Their quarterback, that's been about it.
Exactly, and when that option gets shut down, other people haven't stepped up, and that's when we've seen some of these blowouts that we've seen in some of the 9-man championship games through the years. You have to have somebody else step up and deliver in addition to option number 1. You're right, you have to have option 1 and 2 at least. Some schools, as you mentioned, have 3. Reminder, for all the updated statistics, log on to www.sdpb.org.
Total stats, by the way, let's see here. 211 yards total offense for Iroquois, 110 yards for Cologne.
Not bad balance, but again, Cologne needs to keep that offense rolling. Hey, coming up tomorrow, we've got 11A and 11B championship games. Saturday night, 11AA championship game. And then next Saturday, you'll be in Watertown, correct, Craig?
State volleyball tournament, Class A, Class AA from the Watertown Civic Arena. The Class B is in Huron, and you'll be able to follow that on South Dakota on the public broadcasting website, sdpb.org. (24-6), Iroquois with a lead. Cologne trying to get another touchdown here. Here is Sherman. It is caught. Schwartz inside the 5.
Wow. The defensive back jumped the route there, but an outstanding job for Cologne by Mitch Schwartz, the 5'10 junior, of grabbing that ball and then turning towards the goal line. Nice play, nice throw too by Sherman.
Just a short drop.
Plenty of time, puts it in there, and a nice job by Schwartz.
1st and goal. Quarterback keeper, and does Sherman get in? No, he does not. Just shy.
I think you'll see something very similar here coming up on this next play.
Cologne, when they scored on their last touchdown drive, they had it 11 plays for about 5.5 minutes, and they've almost countered that with this drive. Just about the same. 2nd and goal. As Cologne taking its time getting to the line. Oh, big hit, Schwartz. Oh, he didn't get in at all. Oh, you could hear the pop here in the press box. Mitch Schwartz did not get in as the huge, Alan Harstad and I think Kyle Schuldenfelter were a part of the pop at the line of scrimmage.
I think they felt that one all the way at Fort Belva in Virginia. The folks that are watching it online here on STPB.org. That was a solid hit.
Now 3rd and goal from just inside the 1. This time they'll pitch it to Beck, and no way. Oh, did he reach in? Yes, he did.
Oh,
Derek Beck able to reach it in, stretching out, and Cologne back on the board.
There have been a couple of times where Cologne has been so close to that goal line on the extra point, on the initial quarterback sneak by Sherman, but what a run by Beck.
This will be a nice camera shot here to see how close.
Boom.
Stopped at the 1. Oh, yeah.
Breaks the plane just barely. And his relatives in Virginia are the folks who are watching it online. We certainly appreciate that.
And the 2-point conversion is no good. And with 5:38 to go in the half, Iroquois 24, Cologne 12, the 9B state championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
I'm gonna be a dancer.
Have fun on your ski trip. Be careful.
The doctor says I'll be back on my feet in no time.
No matter how life changes, Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is there, giving you a number of ways to take charge of your health with benefits that go beyond insurance, like the support of a dedicated team of care coordinators, and as always, hassle-free service. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The difference is blue.
I volunteer with the Boys and Girls Club.
I coach senior league football.
I'm president of my community's PTA.
I volunteer at my community church.
I'm on my community's city council.
I volunteer for the United Way.
These people are committed to making their communities a great place to live. And they all work for a company that's committed to doing the same. Mid-Continent Communications, where giving back is one of the things we do best. Mid-Continent Communications, part of our community, part of your life.
The 9B Football Championship of South Dakota. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen.
And again, 3 touchdowns for Iroquois, but they have made all 3 of their 2-point conversions. 2 touchdowns for Cologne. They have made neither of their 2-point conversions.
Derek Beck. Not bad for a first quarter and a half.
Not bad at all.
Back deep, Schoenfelder from his 15. Turns on the Jets.
Got some room.
There he goes. Uh-oh. Bye-bye. "86 yards. He waited, and then took off. And barely got by the last tackler. 2 long runs by Schoenfelder. He's gone once for 80 and now for 86 in a kickoff return.
We might have an early leader for the Joe Robbie Award.
And if you're Cologne,
now look at this setup. You got
good.
Adrian Smith is the quarterback.
To Schoenfelder. They're using all the pages of the playbook tonight.
No question about it. And I think we should keep an eye open for Iroquois for number 56, too. Take a look at this as Adrian Smith. Was that Adrian Smith or was that 56? That was Cody Bish.
That was Cody Bish.
That was Cody Bish right there, who threw the extra point.
He is the one that suffered the ACL injury and was not going to play.
Out for the year with an ACL injury, but when we talked with Kenny Heater prior to the game, he said there would be a special play that they had drawn up for him. There it was. I thought it was Adrian Smith back there, but congratulations, Cody Bish, the 6-foot senior, throws the 2-point conversion.
And according to our stats, that was his very first pass of the season.
Doesn't surprise me. He's a center and a defensive tackle.
What?
6 foot and 200 pounds.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me?
That was sweet. That's a moment that young man's going to remember the rest of his life.
Well, Colomb was hoping after scoring to hold Iroquois defensively, but now Colomb's got to do it again. And for Colomb, that is Josh Sherman, the up back.
All right.
Decent field position for Colomb.
Exactly. Not bad field position here. You eat up some time. You get into the locker room down, say, 32-20 or so, and that's much more manageable than what you've got here. So, again, Colomb, there's one of my favorite guys, number 7 there behind Coach Gracer. That's Zach Harder, 5'2", 97 pounds, and an 8th grader. And he's been over there encouraging the crowd all evening long.
In the gun, it's Josh Sherman. Short drop, has his man open, caught, Rustin Bertram. Second catch of the game for Bertram.
Good coverage over there for Iroquois by Jared Hopper, but a nice throw by Sherman. Rustin Bertram, the 6'2" senior, hauls it in.
No smash mouth football here. They're just airing it out. Both sides.
Now 5 of 6 is Sherman for 43 yards.
Volber, the lone wideout for the Colomb Cowboys on 1st and 10. That's Kartak. About 3 yards for Kartak.
Again, no reason for Colomb to be impatient here. Plenty of time left on the clock there.
Abram Smith there was number 42 in the black that you saw moments ago. Second down and 7. Pitch to Derek Beck, and Derek Beck had to get around Schoenfelder for a lot of room, but Schoenfelder open field tackle.
I'll tell you what, Fast and Schoenfelder, I don't think I've ever seen so many ankle tackles. This is obviously something they talked about. If you're going to hit him low, make sure that you wrap up an ankle too and wait for help to arrive. That has been an outstanding job a couple of times because Beck has been about a half an inch from busting it off a big long carry. But those ankle tackles where they grab hold of the leg and hold on have been very, very effective.
And a contact lens has been found on the floor. That's going to be Curtis Atterbury, the center. He's going to be coming out. Apparently he's the one that lost the contact lens.
Take a look here. They grab hold of Beck. Schoenfelder with a great job coming up right here. He hits him low and just grabs onto anything he can grab onto. And that's about the 4th time we've seen that this evening.
The new center for Colomb, it's Shea Littow. Shea Littow is the center. Inside handoff, Beck Nowhere to go. Great pursuit by that Iroquois defense.
Outstanding job of getting to the football by Iroquois. They are really swarming.
Michael Fast, the linebacker, also Abram Smith. And those are two good linebackers.
Very good. And now this brings up 4th down for Cologne.
A loss of 2 in the play back to the 27-yard line. That brings up 4th and a long 4.
Vober checks into the lineup. Don't forget, Williams and Reed come to Vermillion. Tickets just $10. Call 800-456-0766 as we've got a timeout on the field, and I believe it's Iroquois that is going to take a timeout. They are.
It's because you weren't done talking about Williams
That's right.
and Reed.
That was very, very thoughtful of the Chiefs there. Williams and Reed in Vermillion, live Friday, December 8th. Now, tickets are only $10. It's going to be at the Knutson Theater, a great venue. And all of the proceeds go to the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting. We talked about this afternoon. Bruce and Terry, Williams and Reed, have been such good friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting through the years, have done a great job of supporting them, helped out with fundraisers through the years, hosted the fundraising and that sort of thing. But now they're going to do a live performance, and it's only $10. So I would call and get your tickets, 800-456-0766. I wonder if I'm getting my brother-in-law's name for Christmas this year, because he is a huge fan of Williams and Reed, and that'd make a pretty inexpensive Christmas gift to get my brother-in-law.
Yep, I think he just found out what he's getting too. Because we got folks on the web and all over the place watching and listening tonight. To keep up on the stats, sdpb.org.
And don't forget about the discussion board that you'll also find at sdpb.org.
4th and 4 for Cologne. From the Iroquois 27. Is Sherman in the gun. Oh, the pitch though right to Beck, and Beck, he's going to be short of the first down.
What hard running and solid tackling.
Instead of pitching it to hiking it to Sherman, they hiked it right to Derek Beck, who was standing next to the quarterback, Sherman, but not enough.
He comes up short. Remember, the last drive was actually keyed by a 4th down conversion. There, a nice fake by Sherman, but just nowhere to go. And boy, once those Iroquois players get there, forward progress stops. They have really done a great job.
That was Abram Smith. That's Curtis Atterbury there, the center, walking down the sideline. Iroquois has scored every time they've had the ball tonight. That's Adrian Smith trying to leap over the pile at the line of scrimmage.
Toby Harder in on that play for Cologne, the 5'10 senior. Nice job right at the line of scrimmage. Also in on the play was Ty Heidemann, 6'3 senior.
Shot of Shea Litau coming out.
Iroquois with 1 timeout left.
Spread offense. Schoenfelder in the gun. Quarterback keeper. Has Adrian Smith ahead of him to block. First down coming up for Iroquois.
And another great seal block by Chris Schwartzman, the 6'1 junior. He gets the first guy. He pulls out on that right side. Gets the first defender, and that springs Schoenfelder. Take a look here. There's the block. Boom, right there by Schwartzman. Now on the evening, Schoenfelder 6 carries, 160 yards.
This time he'll hand it off to Abram Smith, and Smith will get 8 yards on the carry. That's Adrian Smith. Just bowls his way straight up the middle.
Again, these kids, both sides, just running so hard. These teams are really going at it, but so far it has been Iroquois with the advantage as they have come up with the big plays, something that Cologne has not been able to do.
2nd and 2 from their own 45. Schoenfelder, he won't pass. He's going to run it. He's got plenty of room. Oh, big man at the 42.
Was that Schwartz that broke that up over there? I think it was. There you see Schoenfelder's rushing attempt.
Not including that last one.
That's right, where he gets another first down. But yeah, I think that was Schwartz over on that far sideline who came in with the big hit.
Iroquois got one timeout left here with, as you see on the clock, 1:15 to go. Nice fake pass by Schoenfelder, but he had plenty of room to run. Now back to pass. This time he will toss it. Looking for Hopper. Touchdown! Oh, boy.
The pass, 41 yards from Schoenfelder to number 7.
Hopper's third touchdown of the game. His second touchdown?
Langland had the other one.
All right.
But for Iroquois, Schoenfelder is now 3 for 3, 84 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Timeout called by Iroquois.
And this one is in danger of getting out of hand. Take a look at the catch here.
Look where the ball was thrown, though.
Yep, absolutely. Every pass by Schoenfelder has been right in the hands, and a great job. Hopper with 2 of those catches, Langland with the other. So great job throwing the ball in addition to running by Kyle Schoenfelder. He has owned this first half. He has an 80-yard touchdown run. He has an 86-yard kickoff return, and he's 3 for 3 for 84 yards and 3 touchdowns for his Iroquois Chiefs. There you go. There's the passing stats. And again, you can stay on top of all of them at sdpb.org. They'll line it up here and go for 2. Do we see Mr. Bish anywhere? No, we don't. Schoenfelder is going to go back behind center. On the last extra point, they had Cody Bish throw the extra point. Cody, a senior who is suited up for the game tonight, but not playing due to a torn ACL.
Here's Schoenfelder in the gun. Back to pass. Now in trouble. He's going to just heave it and look and hope, and it's too far, incomplete. And with 1 minute to go in the half, Iroquois 38, Cologne 12.
That's about the first mistake that Iroquois has made tonight.
We'll have to find out the total offense of Schoenfelder, because the record, the championship record, was done by Josh Hofer of Freeman back in 1996, when Josh Hofer had 272 yards of total offense.
Of total offense? Well, right now, 156 plus 84. I'm sorry, I was raised in Nebraska, so I'm not going to be able to cipher that real quick.
You said 156 and 84?
And 84, so wouldn't that be, let's see.
150.
240.
250.
Okay. God, this is pathetic, isn't it?
Oh, my. So many figures.
Just a
240.
Second. Let's see, if I carry the 1.
Yep.
And I take off my shoe.
Here you go. 240 yards.
All right.
And again, the record is 272 by Josh Hofer of Freeman, 1996.
sdpb.org. You can do your own ciphering. That's where I should be right now, is looking up the stats on the website. Then I wouldn't have to do quick math in my head.
Cologne will get the ball. Kantak. He'll sweep it to the outside and gain tackling right before the 40.
You know, here's the thing, Craig. Cologne is not playing bad football tonight. They've moved the ball. They've been able to, start with some good field position. But Iroquois is just playing great. I mean, plainly and simply great. They have owned this ball game from about the second quarter on, start of the second quarter on.
If you would tell the Cologne coaches, hey, you had 160 yards of total offense in the first half, I think they'd be pleased with that.
No question about it. No question.
They'll go in the gun here with under a minute to go in the half. They have all 3 of their timeouts left. Sherman going deep. Nice catch down to the 40. Rustin Bertram.
See, they've made plays like that. Unfortunately for Cologne fans, they have stalled out on a few occasions. But again, this Cologne team is a good football team.
They stop the clock to move the chains.
Look at Bertram go up off the ground and get it.
Great throw, great catch.
And good defense, too, by Iroquois.
1st and 10 from the 40. The pitch is to Beck. Beck, trips up. And will they use one of their timeouts? Yes, timeout used by Cologne.
Again, just with a hand at the ankle, trips up Beck. Otherwise, he's picking up big yardage on that one.
2 timeouts left for Cologne.
Again, congratulations. Earlier today, the Scotland Highlanders and Bob Graham pick up the state title, their first 9-man title. And also the Parker Pheasants. First time they got here, they made it worth their while as they pick up the victory in what was a very good football game. If you just see the score, you're going to think Parker handled that ball game pretty easily against Elkton. That was not the case.
Well, Elkton had to go to the air late in the ball game, and a late interception for a touchdown put the icing on the championship for Parker.
Yep, it was just an outstanding football game, though. We've had 2 dandies this afternoon. We're looking forward to seeing a team that everybody is talking about tomorrow night in the 11B championship. Aberdeen Roncalli comes back to defend their title. Will they give up a point? They have not given up a point yet this year through their 11 games. St. Thomas More, their 3rd year in a row at the Dome for the finals. They're 0 for 2. Can they get it done this year? And can they put points on the board against Roncalli? We're looking forward to that. That's the 11B championship tomorrow afternoon at 4.
2nd and 5 at the Iroquois 35. Cologne again still with 2 timeouts to go here in the half. Sherman, plenty of time, trying to lift it up and picked off. That is picked up by Jared Hopper, his 6th interception on the year.
Pass is intercepted.
Again, Jared Hopper.
Got a penalty flag down.
That may be a late hit over there.
Actually, it's going to be a holding on the return.
You're right, Mike. It's going to be against Iroquois.
Take a look. The ball
Sherman got that up a little bit too high, just hung up there, and it allowed Hopper to just go ahead and jump right in front of it.
Turns around.
Oh.
Nice tackle over there. But yeah, this will mark it back, but the ball will stay with the Iroquois Chiefs. Let's see what they do here.
15-yard penalty. Fair ball.
13 seconds.
First down.
Schoenfelder has had a huge first half.
And it looks like they're going to take a knee here and just wrap up this first half.
It is a knee, and that is going to wrap up a very big first half for the Iroquois Chiefs. At the end of one half, Iroquois 38, Cologne 12. And if you're looking at big-time players, you got to look at Kyle Schoenfelder. He's had touchdown runs of 80. He's had a kickoff return of 86. He has thrown for 3 touchdowns.
3 for 3 on his passing attempts, as a matter of fact, for 84 yards and 3 touchdowns. It has just been a tremendous half of football for Kyle Schoenfelder. Tom Neiman will be talking with the coach here coming up in just a moment.
Kenny Heater is in his 5th year at Iroquois. I was most impressed with Iroquois just demolishing Grant Newell last week in the semifinals.
Yeah, that really is again, there was some question.
52 to 22.
Yep, some question as to their totals, their win totals against their competition. Again, all you can do is beat the teams that are on your schedule, and they had done that convincingly. But you're right, last week against Grant Newell, and they have had a heck of a performance in this first half here at the Dome. And I see Tom Neiman is standing by with Coach Ken Heater.
All right, they're not quite ready yet, but Iroquois total offense in that first half, what, 286 yards of offense, 186 yards of offense for Colome. And we'll run down all the stats and individual stats coming up here at halftime. First day of 3 days of activity here in the Dakota Dome on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. Mike talked about the 11A and the 11B championships tomorrow night, and then the 11AA championship on Saturday night.
Yeah, and that'll be huge with O'Gorman and Roosevelt. No question that those are the two best teams in Class 11AA. They've had a great rivalry over the course of the last couple of years, and should be no different on Friday night.
Tom Neiman is with Coach Heater down on the field.
All right, Kenny, first of all, that was the play for Cody Bish, huh? That was the one you were talking about?
Yeah, talk about a special moment. Cody gave everything for football, and I broke my heart and his when he tore his ACL, and I wanted to do something special for him tonight, and it couldn't have worked any better.
Did he have a big grin when he came back?
Yeah, he did. He was seeing stars there for a little bit.
Hey, Schoenfelder, I know you've seen him play some good games, but this is unbelievable. Are you even surprised by how well he's played?
I'm not. The kid is special. He is the most special athlete I've coached, and he's been doing this all year.
You don't feel comfortable yet? You're up by 4 scores here, but there's second half coming, right?
I don't feel comfortable. We got to come out and play a little better defensively and try and stick another couple on the board. And if we do that, it'll be great. But Colome's a comeback team. They've won 2 games on the last play of the game this year. They came back. They were down 2 touchdowns to Harding County, and they're not going to give up.
Kenny, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Good first half for Iroquois as they lead it here on Colome 38-12 at halftime. And just an injury report, fellas. Craig and Mike, the Colome free safety, the senior starter, Jordan Bisick, broke his shoulder here in the first half of the game. So he is out for the rest of the ball game. So the news not good at all for Colome here in the first half. Iroquois leads it 38-12. And we're back to the Dome after this on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
My wife and I have lived in Aberdeen for 6 years now. Aberdeen just grew on us, and we love it here and hope to stay here forever. I don't think there's another place in the United States that you could get this quality of life. Friendly people, a great place to have a family and raise kids. Life's good in Aberdeen.
Team up with nutrition. Zinc strengthens your immune system. Iron helps carry oxygen to muscles. Protein is necessary to build a strong body. Team up with beef. It's What's for Dinner, brought to you by South Dakota beef producers through their checkoff program.
We're your friends and your neighbors. We're a part of your communities. That's why your local Touchstone Energy Cooperatives are proud to be a sponsor of South Dakota high school activities.
When we shine as one.
Lunchtime. What are you in the mood for?
Something different. Something. What's the word? Something.
New. The word is new. As in Subway restaurant. New blackened Cajun steak sandwiches. Subway. Eat steak.
It's the Indian and the white guy, Williams and Reed. South Dakota's favorite funny men are making a special appearance live Friday, December 8th. Join us in person at the Knutson Theater on the USD campus in Vermilion. Tickets are available by calling 800-456-0766. Tickets are just $10, and all proceeds benefit the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting. The show will air live on statewide SDPB television. Seating is limited. Call 800-456-0766 today.
Welcome back to the Dakota Dome in Vermilion. At halftime, it's Iroquois leading Colome 38-12. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen, and let's hand it off to our good friend, the public address announcer here at the Dakota Dome for a very special presentation. Here's Greg Merrigan.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to direct your attention to the area in front of the band. The guest band that has been playing for this session of the state championship football games has been the Corsica High School and Stickney High School combined band under the direction of Mike Nepodal. In appreciation for the fine music the band has provided during the games, Ken Pickering, Assistant Executive Director of the South Dakota High School Activities Association, is now presenting a plaque to commemorate the day to Mike Nepodal, the Director of the Corsica and Stickney High School combined band. Congratulations.
And we certainly appreciate those kids.
Yeah, they've done a great job, and we talked about this the first thing this afternoon. They're wearing lime green, and I knew right off that there wasn't a high school in South Dakota that had lime green as their colors. Then when they explained it's a combined band, that they went with that as the compromise. So nice job. Those kids have really done a good job today.
Yep. Corsica and Stickney.
And let's, by the way, we do have one record that has already been set in this game by Kyle Schoenfelder. That is most total points. He's got 34 of Iroquois' 38 total points. Has been responsible for them anyway. That breaks the record set by Josh Hofer of Freeman back in 1996. There you take a look. And again, Colomb, when it comes to the statistics,
look at the time of possession.
Yeah.
More than double of what Iroquois has done, but Iroquois, they've been just the big strike team here in the first half.
And I don't believe Colomb has had a penalty yet. They've only had the one turnover. That was the interception right near the end of the half. So
no penalties, no fumbles, no interceptions.
Yeah, the one interception right at the end of the half.
Yep, one.
But other than that, I mean, they have played well, but it has been the quarterback, Kyle Schoenfelder, who has just gone nuts in this particular game. He has been tremendous.
Individually, Schoenfelder, 7 carries, 156 yards and a touchdown. Let's see here. They say they don't say if it's Adrian or Abram Smith. They just have switched. Do you have that down there?
Yeah, Adrian has 4 carries. Abram has 6.
Okay.
The fullback with 4 carries, 28 yards. The I-back,
Abram Smith.
Abram, 6 carries, only 19 yards. But again, they haven't needed him because Schoenfelder has been incredible. Meanwhile, Schoenfelder 3 for 3, 84 yards and 3 touchdowns. There you see your rushing leaders here in the game.
Yeah, for Colomb, Beck with 14 carries. Derek Beck, 14 carries, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also, Ben Kartak, 3 carries for 41. The quarterback, Josh Sherman, 7 carries for 29. Passing-wise for Colomb, Sherman, 6 of 8, 64 yards and 1 pick. You mentioned Schoenfelder, 3 for 3, 84 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You know, and again, just to reiterate, when you look at those stats, Colomb has moved up and down the field. They have not been able to convert, though, when they've needed to convert. And then, as you mentioned, an 80-yard run by Schoenfelder, an 86-yard kickoff return by Schoenfelder, 3 big passes by Schoenfelder. So he really has been the difference in this first half.
You're watching the 9B South Dakota High School Football Championship, South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2006 South Dakota High School Football Championships are funded in part through your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Mid-Continent Communications, and by Dakota Bank.
No matter where you go across the Dakotas, you'll find a sense of spirit, a sense of belonging. As you pass through our cities and towns, you'll also find a company working hard to build our communities by supporting the very reasons we live here: our schools, our events, our neighbors. It's a company that's been here for over 50 years and will continue to be here down the road. That company, Mid-Continent Communications. Part of our community, part of your life.
It's good to be in Dakota Territory. We have invested in the community regions we serve. We're proud to be in dozens of hometowns across the Dakotas. Dakota Bank, here for you.
From American experience, 2 hours, 2 Western legends.
That's a wide divergence, myth versus reality.
First, America's most notorious outlaw.
Jesse James was immersed in the most savage kind of bloodshed conceivable.
And she shot to stardom and became an American icon.
There's never been anybody like Annie Oakley.
Jesse James and Annie Oakley.
Monday at 8, 7 Mountain.
It's the Indian and the white guy, Williams and Reed. South Dakota's favorite funny men are making a special appearance live Friday, December 8th. Join us in person at the Knutson Theater on the USD campus in Vermilion. Tickets are available by calling 800-456-0766. Tickets are just $10, and all proceeds benefit the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting. The show will air live on statewide SDPB television. Seating is limited. Call 800-456-0766 today.
Some of the young fans from Cologne cheering on their team here tonight. We're in the Dakota Dome in Vermilion. The Class 9B Football Championship. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen. Glad to have you with us tonight. First of 3 days of high school football action here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
And let's take a look at some of the highlights from this first half, and I have a feeling that most of the highlights are going to involve Mr. Schoenfelder, as both teams were coming out onto the field.
Kyle Schoenfelder started off the game. First possession for Iroquois. Goes 80 yards, second play of the game.
Got outside in that spread formation. And as you can see, there's nobody from Cologne in the picture anymore after about the 40-yard line. That was his first big play of the night. But then Cologne did a nice job. They came back, manufactured a 59-yard drive. Beck is able to get almost into the end zone. Then he'll get down there and with the pile through into the end zone. And they missed the extra point, however. It was 8-6. Then here goes Mr. Schoenfelder again, this time on the left side. And an outstanding job over there for Cologne by Ethan Bober.
Here's the first of the 3 touchdown passes.
The great catch in the back of the end zone by Jared Hopper. Then Schoenfelder again on the right side. Sprinting down the right sideline. He'll get drugged down right at about the 23-yard line. Here's his second touchdown pass to Hopper again, right in the hands. Or no, excuse me, that one did go to Langland.
Jeffrey
right in the hands. The pitch over to Beck, second effort. In the dive, he does get in and break the plane. Then here comes Schoenfelder on the following kickoff, and he is gone for 86 yards.
And that's where we're at, 38-12. Iroquois leading Cologne. It's the 9B championships. When we come back, we'll get you to the third quarter here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2006 South Dakota High School Football Championships are funded in part through your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Dakota, and by Sioux Valley Clinics.
Dad, you're going to be a grandpa.
To Mike for 30 great years.
So what are you going to do now?
Take a trip to see those grandkids of ours.
No matter how life changes, Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is there, giving you a number of ways to take charge of your health so you can focus on the moments that matter, with more doctors and hospitals across South Dakota and the world, and hassle-free service. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The difference is blue.
Hundreds of physicians working together for you.
Sioux Valley Clinic.
Join SDPB for all the action as we present the South Dakota High School Volleyball Championships. You can log on to sdpb.org to see the Class B Championships from the Huron Arena. Join SDPB Television Saturday evening for the action from Class A and AA Championships live from the Watertown Civic Arena. Sponsored in part by Midcontinent Communications and Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Dakota. The South Dakota High School Volleyball Championships this weekend on SDPB.
All right, back at the Dome. Cologne's got some work to do here in the second half, down 38-12 to Iroquois. And Kevin, it's kind of a head shaker, isn't it? It's not like you guys are playing horrible.
No, we're just, we're not containing the quarterback. He's the real deal. We just got to do a better job, find a way to put him on the carpet and see what we can do.
And obviously you're going to need some points here. Beck has been close on a lot of those runs. It's just a matter of breaking through here, isn't it?
Yeah, we just, hopefully we can put something together. But first we got to stop him. If we don't stop him, we don't have a chance. But we got to do something defensively. We got to do tackle better. And otherwise, one doesn't do any good. So hopefully defense will step up.
All right, go get him. Have a good second half here. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, and Mikey, he says he scored 64 points in that basketball game back in 1979 against Tripp. It wasn't 63.
Okay,
it was 64.
I was wrong.
Right.
I knew it was in that neighborhood, but I stand corrected, Tom. Thanks for the information. And yeah, that was, well, you played back then, Tom. That was before the three-point shot, wasn't it? Tom is...
Tom never missed a three-point shot that he didn't like.
Tom never turned one down, I'll tell you that.
It is Beck and Kartak back deep for Cologne, and you got to agree with the coach, Mike. You got to stop Iroquois.
Yeah,
they couldn't do it in the first half.
And here's the good news, all right, for Cologne. You get the ball to start the second half, and so you are going to be having the ball in your hands. You can dictate the start of the second half. And again, Cologne has been down before and has battled back. They've got a bigger hill to climb here than what they had the previous couple of times, however.
One record that has been broken already in the championship game, Kyle Schoenfelder of Iroquois has scored 34 points himself. It breaks the record of 30 by Josh Hofer of Freeman in 1996.
And he's going to blow past the total yardage also.
Total offense, 272 by Hofer. And Schoenfelder already at 240. Unless Cologne comes up with a pretty good stop here in the second half. We've seen offenses get shut down before. As Kartak will lead it off. And it will be Cologne at the 33.
Cologne had their best success, Craig, going inside of the tackles. Let's see if they go back to that. Yes, they had some success passing the ball also, but they were able to sustain a drive going between the tackles. And again, that's another key to climbing back into this is holding on to the ball and not giving it back to that Iroquois offense.
Well, using a baseball analogy, and these guys play some pretty good baseball. It's not bottom of the ninth, but at least they're trailing halfway through the game.
It's getting late. There's no question.
And they'll start in the gun. All right, who's going to take it? It is Derek Beck, but all of that commotion, only a gain of 2.
That was an awful lot of trickery that didn't pay off in that particular case.
Second down. Second.
The official inadvertently had his microphone on there. Yep.
But yeah, typically if you're going to be doing any trickery or, gadget plays, typically the play has to develop a little bit faster than that. This time, they stay in the gun. 2 wideouts for Cologne. Boy, Iroquois not fooled at all. Robert Brown, Alan Harstad there to make the tackle.
Adrian Smith on it as well, and here you are in a 3rd and long situation. That's not what Cologne wants to be seeing this evening.
Harstad coming out for Iroquois as they bring in an extra defensive back. In fact, they bring in Iroquois, brings in Stephen Ferguson.
And once again, out of the gun for Sherman.
On 3rd and 10. Plenty of time this time, airing it out for Bertram and picked off again by Schoenfelder. That's his second pick. And for Schoenfelder, his first pick of the game, his 6th of the year.
And again, Iroquois right back in it. And listen, in great field position here. Take a look, this ball held up. Good pass protection. Beck with a really nice block on Smith. Steps up, throws, the ball sails on him though, and he threw it into double coverage, and Kyle Schoenfelder with the interception. He's done everything else tonight, he might as well do that as well. Do not forget, however, what a great story Colombe has been this year. You talk about the reason that we've got high school athletics, that's a prime example. 9 kids were going to go out for football. Kevin Gracer takes over as the coach.
The day before the season.
The day before the season, all of a sudden, 22 kids decide to play.
Abram Smith, pickup of 3.
They just wanted a chance to take part and to be a part of something. And they got that opportunity, and they proved an awful lot of folks wrong, picking up huge wins on the road over Avon, up at Harding County. For folks who have seen the football field up in Buffalo, it is tough to play football at Harding County. Believe me, that is a good football school, so solid through the years. And for Colombe to go up and pick up the win up there was huge. Now tonight, though, Iroquois has just had too much for him.
Abram Smith off of right guard. Shakes one tackle, shakes another, and gets in and scores. Thirteenth touchdown of the season for Abram Smith. Ethan Volber couldn't get him. And too late. Iroquois on the board again. 2-point conversion. Schoenfelder under center. And no good. 9:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. 44-12. The Iroquois Chiefs right now in control.
Yes, they are. And it has been all Schoenfelder. The question is, I have to wonder, how much longer is he going to be in the ballgame to set these records now with a 44-12? The thing is, though, too, keep in mind, as you see Smith's stats there, keep in mind, there is no mercy rule when you get to the Dome. There was a new mercy rule installed this year in 9-man and 11-man football, all of the classes except 11AA, and we may discuss that coming up here in a few minutes. But this year, when a team got ahead by 35 points, the clock ran continuously. When it got to 50, then the ball game was over. In the old rules, it was a 45-point win, and the ball game was done at that point. But in the Dome, those rules do not apply.
That's right.
And also, keep in mind, too, listen, Iroquois kids have worked very, very hard, and if Ken Heater doesn't want to take his kids out because they're in the Dome, I don't blame him. I don't blame him a lick. They have worked very hard. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event for them, and so we'll see what transpires here down the road.
Ouch.
Whoa!
Kartak from his own 20, looking for a wall of some sort to get through, and Colombe will take over at their own 35.
Let's see what Colombe does here on 1st down. They've had a couple of situations where they have tried an off type of play on 1st down, and it has set up a bad series for them. Let's see if they just try to keep it inside the tackles on this one.
Again, to follow all the stats of what's going on tonight and throughout the high school football championships, South Dakota Public Broadcasting with a great website, sdpb.org. First and 10, Cologne at their own 35. In the shotgun. But just a quarterback keeper, and Josh Sherman barely gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And Alan Harstad, the 6'3 senior, has had a terrific game on the offensive line and on the defensive line. He has played big time this evening. He has been disrupting that offense for Cologne. He's also thrown some key blocks tonight. Alan Harstad having a great game to wrap up his high school career.
Iroquois crowd getting on their feet. Second down and 9 for Cologne. And a hard count, and it draws off Iroquois. That should go against the Chiefs.
Only the third penalty of the night on Iroquois. 0 so far for Cologne.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense.
Even the officials have to get used to wearing microphones.
That's right.
And television during the state football finals. Second down and 4 for the Cowboys. Oh, and drawn offside again.
I think Sherman's found a secret weapon. While they mark this off, let's remind you about 100 yards, 100 years, the century of high school football in South Dakota. That's coming up on SDPB. Public Broadcasting coming up on Monday, December the 4th. They have footage of the Claremont Honker high school football team that set the all-time win streak record in the state back in the early 50s. They won 61 games in a row playing 6-man football. And somebody took home movies, and somebody held on to those over the course of the last 50 years.
Kartak dumped right away. Abram Smith.
And I think Abram had been one of the guys who had jumped on one of those offsides. He made up for it there with a nice defensive play.
Do you have any stats, Abram Smith, how many tackles he's had in this game?
No.
He's been in on so many plays tonight.
We do not have the defensive stats available to us. Oh, there you go. Look at that. See, but they've got it at sdpb.org. That
10.
is 10 tackles on the night for Abram Smith.
Nice job in the truck there.
You bet. Great
boys.
job, boys.
Second down and 9.
And ladies.
At the 44. Sherman is hit as he let it go, and that one was almost picked off. As at the line of scrimmage, Adrian Smith hitting Sherman as he was letting it go.
Yeah, nice rush here.
Brings
Put
up
pressure
third
on
down.
the quarterback, and it brings up third down and long again.
That looked like the duck hunting season there.
Yep,
that
that's
ball
right.
was just floating, ready to be picked off. I mean, you may credit Bertram for maybe knocking that one down.
You're absolutely right. He turned into the defender on that play.
Third and 9 for the Cologne Cowboys. The pitch to Beck. Beck is going to get the first down. Derek Beck, 5'11", 170, and a junior.
You know, there's an awful lot of talent coming back for this Cologne squad next year. Vober and Sherman.
Beck, Schwartz,
Kartak. Look at how hard Beck runs. And you know, that's just another sign of character right there. You're down 44-12. Obviously, your dream of a state championship is not going to come true this evening. You couldn't prove it by that run. He's still running just as hard as he did at the start of the game.
First and 10. And in the shotgun. Little shuffle pass to Derek Beck, and Beck gets a nice seam and a race to the outside. Schoenfelder has to wrestle him out at the 23.
That is something that Beck has been so close to doing several times this evening. He's got the 63 yards and the 2 touchdowns, but there are so many times that he was just a foot away maybe of busting off a big one. That time he does get into the open.
We've seen the shuffle pass a few times tonight by Colom.
Absolutely. And again, look how hard, and he puts down his head and looks for the contact into Schoenfelder.
1st and 10, Cowboys. Complete. But not much there, but we have a flag on the play.
This is going to be the first.
Ethan Volber with the catch.
Yep, first penalty, I believe, on the Colom Cowboys. The officials over on the side discussing it.
Looked like it might be a hold.
Yep. First penalty, though, on Colom.
In 2.5 quarters,
that's great.
That's very good.
That's what coaches want to have. You know,
no
Craig,
mistakes.
You and I have done how many seasons of high school football over the course of the years? That first week, you may see 8, 10, 12 penalties, and they're the little things like jumping off sides and bad, false starts and those types of things. As the season progresses, you want to eliminate as many of those as possible. That's a sign of a well-coached team, and we've seen both of these teams do a great job of those types of things, eliminating those mistakes.
1st and 22 for Colom.
Sherman can't decide if he's going out of the shotgun or under the center.
The pitch to Beck. Just a race to the outside, and he goes right over Jared Hopper. Carries him for about another 10 yards.
And look at the fans for Colom over there. They're still fired up. Easy to get fired up after a run like that. That was tremendous. Look at him, just put the head down.
Nice blocking, gives him a seam.
Here comes Mr. Hopper. Hopper goes for a ride of approximately 12 yards on that play. He's not the first one that's been drugged by Derek Beck, however.
2nd and 4 for Colom. There's Beck again. He's going to get the first down. Right at the stick.
Yeah,
at the 14.
Let's see where they set it. He might be just shy.
About a half a yard shy.
But again, that clock continuing to roll here as you see Derek Beck's stats on the evening. Again, he's having a good game. Colom isn't having a bad game.
Iroquois is having a lot bigger game with some big plays. 3rd and short. Oh my, did not get it. Did not get it. The huge hit by Abram Smith.
They went with Schwartz that time. Mitch Schwartz, the junior halfback, another player that'll be back next year for the Cowboys, but he comes up shy. We've seen Colom get down into the red zone inside the 20-yard line and not be able to convert on a couple of occasions this evening.
Slight loss on the last play. First down and more. Touchdown. Josh Sherman, 14th, checked out his 6th rushing touchdown on the season.
Look at this. He has the pitch man taken away, so he just keeps it himself and goes right into the end zone for the 15-yard touchdown run.
Cowboys will go for 2. Backs are split this time.
And a nice drive by the Colom Cowboys.
And open in the end zone and knocked away by Schoenfelder.
Who else?
Iroquois 44, Colom 18. It's the 9B Football Championships in South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Farmers Union Insurance has served South Dakota's heartland since 1948 and knows that our state's future depends on the talent and leadership of today's youth. That's why Farmers Union Insurance proudly supports South Dakota Public Broadcasting and South Dakota High School Activities Association as a community partner, helping to develop our youth into tomorrow's state and community leaders, investing in a strong future for our state. Farmers Union Insurance, your hometown agent.
High school is an important time for every South Dakota student, a time when the plans for their future begin to take place. The many unique and varied activities afforded to students in South Dakota helps them in their development as they prepare for the road ahead. I'm Shannon Poppinga.
Core Trust Bank is proud to be a sponsor of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. For over 75 years, Core Trust Bank has been dedicated to the youth of South Dakota, and we will continue for the next 75.
And you can bank on that.
Welcome to the Dakota Dome in Vermillion. I'm Craig Maddock of KWSN Radio in Sioux Falls Sports Radio, along with the host of the Sportsmax Radio Magazine, Mike Henriksen.
Heard on 14 great radio stations, and we're working on even more.
Do we see an onside here, or you kick away?
No, I think you kick away.
You pooch it down. Adrian Smith, he's going to cover it. And at the 32, Iroquois will take over 1st and 10. Tomorrow night, doubleheader action here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting in the 11B and the 11A football championship.
What a storyline we've got tomorrow night. We have got Aberdeen Roncalli, the defending state champs. They have not given up a point this year. They will be taking on St. Thomas More, who has been the runner-up twice in the last 2 years, making their 3rd straight trip to the Dome.
Cavaliers versus the Cavaliers.
4 o'clock. Yep, Central, 3 o'clock Mountain.
Abram Smith bouncing off a couple of Cowboys and almost 10 yards on the carry.
And then, following that game,
this place will be full tomorrow night.
Oh, it's going to be packed. This will be great. And tomorrow night,
only the 2nd time in 10 years, West Central will not be here to play for an 11A football championship.
And there will be another team making their debut in the Dome at that point in time, the Del Rapids Quarriers. They have been very, very close. They've gotten to the semis a couple of times, been beaten out by the eventual state champions, but they will have finally made it to the Dome. And they will be taking on the Canton Seahawks. And the last time Canton was here was 20 years ago. And the reason I know that is because this week on Sportsmax, we've got Kevin King, who was the most valuable player, the Joe Robbie Award winner from that Canton team 20 years ago. By the way, Rich Lundstrom, the head coach at Canton, was a junior linebacker on that team that won the state title.
Well, thanks a lot. Now I feel a lot older. That's tomorrow night, right here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. And then Saturday night, the 11AA Championship. O'Gorman trying to go for a three-peat, something that's not been done in Class 11AA. Abram Smith tries to get to the outside. He'll pick up 4 yards.
And by the way, for those of you that know that I'm from Del Rapids, I just need to assure people that I will be having absolutely nothing to do with that broadcast tomorrow evening. The Del Rapids-Canton game, that will be handled by Craig Maddock and Steve Toom on the announcing.
If you were a part of the broadcast there, Mr. H, you would be just fine.
I understand
that.
You
are the consummate professional the way you are.
In deference to those folks, I'm just going to simply step aside. Yeah, I wouldn't be rooting, honestly. That's not what we do in the booth, but it's just easier if you don't put yourself in that position.
Schoenfelder on that quarterback keeper, and this time it's going to bring up 3rd down in about a yard.
And if you don't believe that it's better if you don't put yourself in that position, ask Joe Buck how he felt about broadcasting the World Series this year.
With the Cardinals, as he does the games for the Cardinals
with his team. Yep. There's Schoenfelder's stats now updated. 161 and 84. He's getting closer to that total yardage record.
Schoenfelder, just a quarterback keeper to get the first down, add another 5 yards. That's 250 yards of total offense now for Schoenfelder, and the state 9B record is 272, set by Josh Hofer of Freeman in 1996.
Again, Schoenfelder with 34 points in that first half. That broke the all-time point record of 30, also set by Josh Hofer.
Yeah, Freeman had some pretty good football teams, didn't they?
They could play a little bit in the late 90s, believe me. Jim Eisenbry and the crew.
Only one of a few teams have been able to three-peat at the state championships. The handoff to Abram Smith, and Smith, comes up with a...
That looked nasty when he came down, and he is hobbling off, not putting any pressure on that foot.
It rolled right over that. That's not fun to see, certainly not fun to feel. And we hope things are okay for Abram Smith.
But again, we've talked about the fact these athletes get so much better care these days than even a few short years ago.
Jeffrey Langland comes in to replace Abram Smith as we're coming up on the last moments of the third quarter.
Here comes that spread formation again. Schoenfelder has run out of this more often than not.
You're right, Mike. And this time, Colomb is able to take him down, and a flag on the play. The open field tackle by Ben Kartak of Colomb.
Yeah, and Ben was actually being held. We're going to see a holding penalty on this against
we got a couple of Iroquois players down. Schoenfelder gets up, but the other one is Alan Harstad.
And Harstad has been hobbling all evening long, coming in and out of the play. There you see Schoenfelder. He hasn't thrown the ball in this second half. 3 for 3, though, and 3 touchdowns.
He's been feeling a little heat today. This is the last play. As quarterback keeper, we've seen a lot.
Oh, look, there's what happened to Harstad. Kid came around and was just
rolled up on him.
Yep, rolled up on him. There was the block in the back by Adrian Smith.
And they're going to get Allen back on his feet. Nice to see. Even the kids from Colomb are clapping, wishing them well.
Yeah, we've seen excellent sportsmanship.
Offense, still second down.
Those games today, this afternoon, were so well played. Just 2 terrific football games. Tonight, not as close, but still, Colomb hasn't played badly. Again, you can stay updated. And also, don't forget about the discussion board. I'm curious what people think about this performance by Kyle Schoenfelder. You can go to sdpb.org, click on the discussion board link.
Pitch to Adrian Smith, and he will be close to the first down, a run of 13. You got to put Kyle Schoenfelder with one of the best performances in state history.
Certainly for a half. Earlier this year, Craig, you and I had the opportunity doing a ball game at Sioux Falls. We saw a kid, Sam Holson from Sioux Falls, Washington, just go nuts in the first half. We'll talk about it after this timeout.
One more quarter to go. The 9B championships here in the Dakota Dome on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
I volunteer with the Boys and Girls Club.
I coach senior league football.
I'm president of my community's PTA.
I volunteer at my community church.
I'm on my community's city council.
I volunteer for the United Way.
These people are committed to making their communities a great place to live. And they all work for a company that's committed to doing the same. Mid-Continent Communications, where giving back is one of the things we do best. Mid-Continent Communications, part of our community, part of your life.
Well, that's it, Mom. I hope it all fits in my dorm room.
And to my wife, for 20 wonderful years.
Why don't you do the charity walkathon with me, Mom?
No matter how life changes, Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is there, giving you a number of ways to take charge of your health so you can meet life's events with confidence, like more plans to fit your needs now and in the future, along with hassle-free service. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The difference is blue.
Welcome back to Vermillion. In the Dakota Dome on the campus of the University of South Dakota, I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen. As we start the fourth quarter, Iroquois third and short, and the handoff, Adrian Smith, and Smith will get the first down to the Cologne 31.
Back to our point here before the end of the quarter, and earlier this year we saw Sam Holson just take over a AA football game like I had never seen a player take over in the first half, with 3 long touchdown receptions, with an outstanding job defensively.
Interception.
Return for a touchdown. Well, I'll tell you what, Kyle Schoenfelder.
He took over that first half, didn't he?
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable the way he performed, with an 86-yard kickoff return, with an 80-yard touchdown run, 3 for 3 for 3 touchdowns when he was throwing the ball. Just a tremendous performance by Kyle Schoenfelder. So again, I'd love to see folks log on sdpb.org, click on the discussion board link, and let us know what you think of that performance by Kyle Schoenfelder. Can you think of some others over the course of the years that would match this performance? It's been 25 years worth of history at the Dome, and I'd love to read that tonight when we get off the air.
1st and 10, Iroquois. Here's Schoenfelder. He's going to run it. Still picks up good 6 yards. Well, you got to put certainly Josh Hofer. What he has done. I mean, if we're talking strictly 9B.
Yeah, Josh Hofer was incredible. That year, was that 96?
Yeah, 96. He had 272 yards of total offense, which is going to be broken here real soon by Kyle Schoenfelder. And 2nd and 5. That's Adrian Smith.
I don't know if Schoenfelder is going to make it. You know, and this is, you want to talk about sportsmanship. You know, people always talk about pulling your starters or those types of things. Listen, Iroquois has gone back to their most basic offense. They're running it up the middle. They're running it off tackle. They're handing off. They aren't throwing it. They aren't going wide. They aren't running any trick plays. Ken Heater, in my opinion, is just playing this perfectly. Now they will drop back and pass.
And it's complete. Jeffrey Langland inside the 5.
And that should do it for the total offense.
Is that 4 for 4 on the night now for Mr. Schoenfelder?
But it was a non-touchdown. Here, look at this throw. And this should put him over the top for total. And outstanding job by Jeffrey Langland. That's his 2nd catch of the night. Outstanding throw, and I believe that now makes Kyle Schoenfelder the all-time leader in offense, total offense for a game.
The Class 9B championship game. 1st and goal, and Schoenfelder is going to get in. Yep, add another touchdown to the senior, Kyle Schoenfelder.
Unbelievable performance tonight by Kyle Schoenfelder.
He's, let's see, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
3 passing. And then the kickoff return.
Mm-hmm. So that's 36. And then he had, a couple of, did he have 2 two-point conversions? Schoenfelder?
Pass is complete to Ferguson, but he won't get in. 10 minutes to go in the ball game. Iroquois 50, Cologne 18. Ferguson on that last catch, but here's from the last play, and Schoenfelder just keeps driving and driving and will score.
And on the night, Schoenfelder with 6 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions. So another 6 points. So 42 points he is responsible for Iroquois this evening. That smashes the previous record
of 30. By Josh Hofer.
Yep. All I can say is wow.
And not a lot of rushing attempts either.
Oh, no. No, he's had 11 carries, and a couple of those came, or about 3 or 4 of them came on this last drive for short yardage. 11 carries, 174 yards total running. Meanwhile, passing-wise, he has gone to 105 yards, 4 for 4 for 105 yards. That now gives him 279 yards total offense.
You can follow all the stats by going to sdpb.org. As the Cologne crowd on their feet here in the Dome, giving some support to the Cologne Cowboys as they will get the ball. And this will be Kartak from his own 25.
Oh!
Nice block at the
man.
38. Oh, boy, I think, here comes a late flag, but I think Derek Gracer was the one who got the big hit.
I might have been Bertram, too. I'm not sure, but that was as big of a hit as we've seen all day long. Let's take a look at this.
We've seen some good hits.
Yeah, we have. These guys are playing hard. See if we can see it. Yep. That was 35, Rustin Bertram, who leveled the defender.
Penalty is on Iroquois.
So this will give Cologne good field position.
And we'll get the call from Keith Krupinski, the referee out of Beersford.
Personal foul, flag.
There you see the total yardage tonight for Kyle Schoenfelder. The 86-yard kickoff return.
Cowboys with it, just inside the Iroquois 40-yard line.
Just a phenomenal night for Schoenfelder.
Oh my, Iroquois, right place at the right time. Robert Brown gets the fumble. Actually, if that was a skip pass that was deflected, that would be an interception.
I believe that's got to go as an interception.
And Robert Brown, that would be his second interception of the year. If that is a skip pass, which I think it was, deflected, intercepted by Robert Brown.
Yep, on the shuffle pass, it is an interception. And Iroquois will take over. Going into that spread, let's see if Schoenfelder runs the ball here. Steady, hands off. That was Robert Brown running the ball.
Robert Brown, yes, the man who just intercepted it.
He is in for Adrian Smith, who we saw come off after an injury on that last series.
Well, Iroquois could become DeSmet Iroquois or Iroquois DeSmet. Has good chance those two schools may be co-oping in football. At least the talks are still underway.
As a matter of fact, I stand corrected. He's in for Abram Smith. Adrian is back in the ball game.
Another run by Robert Brown.
He's got the first down and then some down into Cologne territory.
School boards and others need to figure out if there's going to be a co-op with Iroquois and DeSmet. DeSmet, by the way, one of those teams, Mike, just a few years ago, they only allowed 11 points during that football championship just a few years ago.
Yeah, they had a phenomenal run that year. The Blake Hoyer led the way for.
In fact, they ran into Jason Hine, the head coach of DeSmet, earlier today, and he goes, "Yeah, it was 11 points. It was 8 here." And no, I mean, he knew exactly what they had given up.
Yeah, I knew it was down. I knew it was under 20. I couldn't remember just how many they had given up.
Adrian Smith with a fight to the outside and nice gang tackling by Cologne.
And again, I hate to be, flogging a deceased equine here, but these kids from Cologne are still playing hard, still hustling, still popping people. And it's just been all Iroquois this evening, and specifically Kyle Schoenfelder. There you see Adrian Smith's totals. Once again, more football tomorrow, starting at 4 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Mountain. Doubleheader, 11A and 11B.
Schoenfelder on the quarterback keeper.
Going to add to his already record title.
Oh, my. Inside the 10, and will be just shy of the 1, and then a late flag, a late hit. As Schoenfelder slow to get up. In fact, he's still down.
Ethan Vober with the late hit there.
Schoenfelder's been taking and beating this whole game as well, and nice blocking. Look at the seam. And then late at the end, a late hit there at the end against Cologne, and it's going to be first and goal for Iroquois.
And Schoenfelder still down. You'll see Kenny Heater walking down to check on the situation. He took a heck of a shoulder there.
There you see Schoenfelder, and looks like it might be more cramps than anything.
Yep.
Something we saw in game 1 and game 2 today. Really haven't seen.
Late hit on defense, half the distance to the goal.
Haven't seen a lot of the cramps in this ball game, as it is susceptible to these football players in the dome this time of year.
Well, you don't think about proper hydration when you get in the dome, and actually that's something that fans need to think about too. If you're here for a long session, it can take its toll on you. Schoenfelder going to stay out of the ball game now for a moment. A timeout on the field called by Iroquois. That'll be their first timeout, as it will be first down and goal inside the 1 yard line.
You know, it was a year ago this time, Mike, right when the championships ended last year. The topic was moving the state championships from 2 days to 3 days. This year, as soon as the football championships are done, the hot topic among the advisory committee is going to be maybe changing the format of Class 11AA playoffs.
And again, for folks who don't realize just exactly how this all works, the orders don't come from on high, from the South Dakota High School Activities Association. They come through a series of committees. Coaches make recommendations. That goes up through the athletic directors, up through the administrators, and up to the High School Activities Association. So consequently, that discussion just about always has been the ESD versus the GDC in 11AA. That's almost always the way the vote has gone.
Right now, I think it's more of East River, West River now. In the past, that has too.
To some extent, but it's mostly been ESD versus GDC.
Here's Schoenfelder back in the ball game, and he'll hand it off, and the 2-point conversion is good.
No, actually, that's touchdown. Remember, he didn't get in.
That's right, he didn't get in.
We got distracted there. That's all right. That's the touchdown, and that's going to go to Abram Smith. But so, yeah, the discussion is going to be in AA football about reseeding. Right now, they're in districts, just like everybody else. There's the handoff as Smith will burrow his way into the end zone.
Abrams' second touchdown of the game, I believe.
Yep. Abram with 12 carries, 68 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Schoenfelder is going to throw for maybe a 2-point conversion. Yes, it's good, complete. That is Michael Fast with the 2-point conversion. And with 7:09 to play, 58-18, the Iroquois Chiefs in total control.
So would that be 44 points now? Yep, 44 points now that Schoenfelder is responsible for Iroquois this evening. But back to the AA situation. Right now, that's in districts the same way all of the other classes are. The discussion has been in 11AA to seed that top to bottom. Because what happens when you are in districts at that level, you had an awful lot of good football teams sitting at home after the first round and a heck of a lot of big-time blowouts in the second round of schools that had advanced. And so I think we're going to see that take a swing during the course of this coming year.
Big day for Kyle Schoenfelder. Those are big numbers.
Huge.
You have to go back to some even 9A and 9AA stats. Those stats very comparable.
I'm not sure anybody's put up 44 total points.
Class 9A, 30 points. 9AA, most points, only 18.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this is a record. You're watching history. This, not only is this a record, this is a record that's going to stand for a while.
Jason Lieber out of Vermillion scored 32 in Class 11A back in 1992. And Class 11AA 26. So yeah, this by far the single largest performance by a 9B player as far as points scored individually.
By anyone, as a matter of fact. So yeah, a heck of a performance by Schoenfelder this evening.
And you can check out all of the other championship game stats as well on the South Dakota High School Activities Association website. What did we do before the web?
I have no idea.
1st and 10. Sherman in the pitch to Derek Beck. Beck, nice stiff arm, and he keeps on rolling. Moves the ball to the left side and knocked out at the 30. That was a great run by Derek Beck.
About 29 yards or so on that pickup. Great, solid run by Derek Beck.
Yeah, his legs are feeling a little bit here, too.
Yep.
Nice stiff arm and does what a running back is supposed to do when he gets out in the open. Moves that ball from the right side to the left side.
Great job. And again, he actually goes looking for the contact, keeps his balance, moves that ball again away from the defender. Great run by Beck. He's going to check out now, and I think you're right, Craig. This is a cramping situation for Derek Beck. And again, I want to say hello to Derek's relatives who are watching online at sdpb.org, watching in Virginia. We certainly appreciate that. That run did take back over the 100-yard mark, as you saw.
1st and 10, Colombe at the Iroquois 31. And the Cowboys will stay in that shotgun formation. Sherman just can't get away from Schoenfelder. Schoenfelder defensively has been very strong.
There's going to be a holding call coming up here against the Colombe Cowboys. A couple of players with a little extracurriculars, and I think they're going to end up calling it a holding.
Coming up on Saturday night, the 11AA championship, and Mike, Sioux Falls O'Gorman with a chance to do something that it has not been done in Class 11AA, and Roosevelt trying to do something that hasn't been done in Class 11AA.
Yeah, a couple of great storylines there as Gorman looks to go for the three-peat, as we hear from the official here.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
And Roosevelt trying to become the first Sioux Falls public school to win a football title.
Never happened.
25 years of football.
And there's been some great teams in Sioux Falls. There's just been some great football in this state. Nice run there on 1st down.
Ben Kartak.
He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. But yeah, that should be a tremendous game. What is it now? And I've got it in my notes. 1-25. Is that what Roosevelt is against O'Gorman?
Only one win. Yeah.
Yeah, 1-25.
That might.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Or 1-24. I know it's right. It's one of those or the other.
It's a mind-boggling number.
Yeah, only one win in 25 or 26 games against O'Gorman.
2nd and 11. Sherman, has it picked off. Adrian Smith. That is his first interception of the season.
And Alan Harstad actually was the one who got in the way. And a big return there for Smith.
They've done it offensively tonight, and they've also done it defensively. 58-18 as you're watching the Class 9B Championship on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
hundreds of physicians working together for you. Sioux Valley Clinic.
It's good to be in Dakota Territory. We have invested in the community regions we serve. We're proud to be in dozens of hometowns across the Dakotas. Dakota Bank, here for you.
Welcome to the Dakota Dome in Vermillion. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen. New players in for Iroquois,
but not a lot of them.
We'll give you some of those names as we roll. Both clubs bringing in some players, get some state tournament playing time. The handoff, Robert Brown. Only a couple. As Jeffrey Langland coming out for Iroquois.
Now Langland's going to turn around and come right back in. Again, some good young talent on this Iroquois team as well, although Kyle Schoenfelder has obviously been the difference. But Jeffrey Langland, Michael Fast, of course the Smith twins are both seniors, so they'll be gone.
Spread formation for the Chiefs.
Hand off to Brown again.
Brown getting some nice yardage as he has come in for the injured Adrian Smith.
Yep, but then Adrian has been back in. They're just getting Brown some carries, which is nice to see. I believe that was his 4th carry on the night. Yep, 4 carries, 30 yards for Adrian Brown. Or Robert Brown, excuse me.
Well, Iroquois will go undefeated, 12-0.
And again, they were below the radar for a lot of the year.
A lot of it was Avon and Harding County and Sanborn Central. Grant Dual. Those 4 schools had a lot of press and pub even before Iroquois.
And Iroquois will get the first down.
Here come the some new fresh players and a standing O for the Iroquois Chiefs. Quarterback is Jeffrey Langland.
Brown is the I-back. Also in there for Iroquois. Eric Harstead, the freshman lineman.
This is Jason Madison. Madison out to the outside. Madison will not get in, out at the 1. Madison, a 5'10", 140-pound sophomore.
What a run by Madison. That was a heck of a job. He just gets outside, switches it around, shakes a couple of tackles. Again, good job shifting that ball over to the left hand, and just is going to get shoved out of bounds. He was trying to get inside that pylon. Boy, that's good recognition by Madison. Sticking the ball out, trying to get it across the pylon.
Madison, does he reach? No,
nope.
He does not get in.
It's going to come up just shy. Boy, that's been a popular spot tonight. Colome has had the ball at that particular spot a couple of times this evening, just about 6 inches outside of the goal line.
For those wondering, the most points scored in a 9B championship game, and I know Mr. H, you were wondering. Trip Delmont had 72 points in their win against Coleman Egan back in 1997.
Yeah, I knew it was in the 70s.
Quarterback keeper, and it's a touchdown. Jeffrey Langland. For Langland, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year.
And again, all set up by the tough run by Jason Madison, the 5'10 sophomore.
This is the second most points ever scored by a Class 9B team in the final.
And again, 44 of those points were accounted for by Kyle Schoenfelder before he checked out of the game.
And the two-point conversion is no good, and Iroquois will take the lead 64-18. Just the basic quarterback dive by Madison. Put your head down and hope you get over the line.
Find a place to burrow in, and he certainly did that.
So Iroquois becomes the, right after Trip Delmont, they scored 72 points in their win, 72-22. Iroquois becomes the team that is the second highest scoring in the championship.
Well, there's still 3:19 to play, Craig.
Well, in nine-man football, you just never know.
Exactly. What a performance, though, by Iroquois this evening. And a great view there of Harstead, the senior, and Ken Heater. Also Cody Bish. Cody came in and threw an extra point this evening. Cody, number 56, a senior who is out with an ACL injury, but they put in a special play for him. He lined up at quarterback and threw the extra point to Schoenfelder.
Not a lot of coaches would do something like that, Mike. That's why it's pretty special.
Absolutely. Again, that's
you're just allowing a kid to try to do something and to say that he at least was in the game of the state championship game.
Yep, and contributed. And again, as we said, that's a moment that kid will never forget.
Kartak for Cologne at about the 35.
Here comes the second string defense in for the Chiefs. Caleb Soderman. Oh no, the first team defense mostly staying out there.
And a timeout.
Yeah, timeout. Ken Heater said, no, guys, we don't want you guys out there.
Want to remind you, join South Dakota Public Broadcasting for 100 yards, 100 years, a century of high school football in South Dakota. They take a look back at the coaches, the kids, and the characters that made South Dakota football what it is today. And that great program, I'm looking forward to it, coming up December 4th on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
Some of the best historians in South Dakota when it comes to athletics contributed to this. Roger Toland out at the Rapid City Journal. John Egan, the longtime sports writer for the Sioux Falls Argus Leader. Dave Kemp, who's an outstanding historian of all sports here in the state of South Dakota. Just a great program coming up December 4th. And part of that 100 yards, 100 years, we'll see some history tomorrow night. Aberdeen Roncalli versus St. Thomas More. Can Aberdeen Roncalli continue their scoreless streak on the year?
I thought Howard would score against them last week.
I did too. And in the 11A championship, the Del Rapids Couriers making their debut against Canton, who hasn't been here in 20 years. Then, of course, the AA championship, Roosevelt and O'Gorman.
We have some great matchups coming up. Josh Sherman, the quarterback for Cologne. The Cologne Cowboys 8-3 coming into the state championship game, and Sherman's going deep.
Man.
He's got Bertram. Bertram can't break the tackle and down at the 20.
Great throw by Sherman. Good catch by Bertram. He's been very, very tough this evening. Bertram on the night now with 3 catches receiving.
Plenty of time for Sherman. Good blocking up front.
Not the prettiest spiral, but right on the nose.
Yes, it was.
3 receiving, 3 catches for 91 yards tonight for Bertram.
Jared Hopper of Iroquois with the tackle. Don't go away. I think more points are going to be scored here. If you like points, you've loved tonight's ball game. Kartak gets tripped up down to the 15. 82 points on the night.
Yeah, and you're right. I'm not sure they're done. Checking into the lineup, Joe Pesky will come on out for Iroquois. Also coming into the lineup, Eric Harstead, the freshman lineman. He comes in.
For Colombe, Shea Latau is in.
Stephen Ferguson in defensively for Iroquois. Clock continuing to roll here, as you see.
Quarterback option. Kartak. Only a gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd and short.
That was a late pitch, but Sherman has done that a couple of times this evening.
Stay tuned for the awards ceremony after the ball game, and of course the Joe Robbie Most Valuable Player.
Who do you suppose that's going to go to, Craig?
It's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
And you'll have to just stick around and wait to see.
Indeed. If
I tried to tease it as much as I could.
If it goes to anybody aside from Kyle Schoenfelder, that'll be the biggest miracle since they rolled away the stone.
I formation for Colombe. Schwartz. Oh, nice run. Straight up the middle. Touchdown, Cowboys. And for Mitch Schwartz, his 4th touchdown of the year on the ground.
For the Cowboys.
Nice solid run right up the middle. Good blocking along the line of scrimmage. And Schwartz goes off right tackle, cuts it back, and strolls into the end zone.
.88 points scored now tonight. Will it be an even 90 here? Seen only one extra point try here all day long among the 9-man schools.
As far as kicking goes.
Well, as far as kicking, and it's going to be Sherman. The 2-point conversion is good with 1:06 to play. Iroquois 64 and Colombe 26.
Yeah, not a lot of kicking game goes on at the 9-man level, and part of it has to do with the fact finding the kids that can't kick, but the other one is plainly and simply the angles that you've got on that line. If you've got 2 guys back to kick, you've only got the 7 men along that front line of scrimmage, and it's a lot easier to come in from the angle and block it. So you don't see a lot of kicking at the 9-man level.
I think we'll see a little bit more tomorrow night, and certainly we'll see more on Saturday night.
Absolutely. A nice tumble into the end zone there by Sherman. Yeah, I know Del Rapids has a foreign exchange student who does their kicking. We're going to see Ryan Jastrom, one of the best kickers in the state.
Yep. On Saturday.
Kicking on Saturday for Roosevelt.
Yeah, the kid from Del Rapids or the kid from Canton is from Brazil, I believe. I think it's from Canton. I've got all those notes in my bag for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's we haven't thought about it till tomorrow.
Can only do one game at a time.
Although this one has seemed like about 3 games, but it's just been one.
And for the most part, decent crowd still here at the Dome. Oh, there's a fumble. Iroquois' Michael Fast couldn't hold on to it, and it's going to stay with Iroquois.
Iroquois does come up with it. 50, 60, 65. 65 is Tyler Hufford, senior, checking into the lineup. Fast is going to come out, and I think he's injured. He's holding on to that shoulder, or has that shoulder dropped.
Yeah, when he was recovering that fumble, he got pretty good lick on him. 1 minute to go here in the State B 9B Championship. And the knee taken by Jeffrey Langland. They'll have to run one more play, but a very impressive evening for the Iroquois Chiefs.
It has been as dominating a performance by one player as we have seen in a long, long time. Kyle Schoenfelder with just a tremendous football game tonight.
And congratulations to the Colombe Cowboys. Nobody thought Cologne was going to be here in the state tournament.
What?
Nobody was going to think they'd even get past the semifinals. They beat Avon, the defending champs. Then they beat Harding County, the top seed, to get here.
It has been an incredible ride for Cologne, and again, congratulations to Kevin Gracer. He has really done a great job with that squad this year. Congratulations, they wrap up 8-4 on the year.
Iroquois, your champions in Class 9B. We'll have the award ceremony when we come back on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2006 South Dakota High School Football Championships are funded in part through your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Dakota, and by Sioux Valley Clinics.
I'm gonna be a dancer.
Have fun on your ski trip. Be careful.
The doctor says I'll be back on my feet in no time.
No matter how life changes, Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is there, giving you a number of ways to take charge of your health with benefits that go beyond insurance, like the support of a dedicated team of care coordinators, and as always, hassle-free service. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The difference is blue.
Sure, you can handle your shoulder pain, but can he? If joint or muscle pain has kept you from playing with your child, you need Sioux Valley Clinic Orthopedics, where you get a whole team of orthopedic specialists working together to help you get back into life.
What's more important than your family? Your business? Your retirement? Nothing's more important. That's why you need Trusted Choice, independent insurance agents who can help you protect what matters most.
Trusted Choice agents are in every community and can offer you customized policies through a choice of insurance companies. You know what's important.
To find a Trusted Choice agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com.
Over 100 years ago, high school football teams first took to the gridiron in South Dakota, and they've been running strong ever since. Some things haven't changed much. You've got to know how to tackle and how to run, but there are some things that have changed. Join South Dakota Public Broadcasting for a look back at some of our state's outstanding teams, coaches, and the battle for a state playoff system. Watch 100 Yards, 100 Years, a century of high school football in South Dakota, Monday, December 4th, at 7th Central, 6 Mountain.
Award ceremony time in the 9B Football Championship. Let's check in with our public address announcer, Greg Merrigan.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to the center of the playing field to present the awards to the 2006 runner-up and championship teams for Class 9B football are Kurt Hart and Christina Schultz from the Board of Directors of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. Assisting them this evening are representatives from the Activity Association's corporate partners, Verl Valentine from Sioux Valley Hospitals and Health Systems, Boyd Hopkins from CoreTrust Bank, and Blaine Anderson from Farmers Union Insurance. First, to accept the runner-up trophy, they finished with a record of 8-4, head coach Kevin Gracer, the Cologne Cowboys. And accepting the 2006 9B State Championship Award, their first state football title, they finished with a record of 12-0. Head coach Kenny Heater, the Iroquois Chiefs. Ladies and gentlemen, the South Dakota High School Coaches Association picks an outstanding lineman and an outstanding back in each of the championship games. The Coaches Association has selected Chris Schwartzman of Iroquois as the outstanding lineman, and the Coaches Association has selected Kyle Schoenfelder of Iroquois as the outstanding back. The members of the media covering the championship games select the Joe Robbie Most Valuable Performer. In this 9B championship game, the media has selected Kyle Schoenfelder of Iroquois as the Joe Robbie MVP. He set a new championship game record for total offense with 312 yards, 207 rushing, and 105 passing yards, a new championship game record for total offense.
In addition, he also set a record, just to add to what Greg Merrigan was saying, he also set a record, 44 total points in the ball game this evening. And let's send it down to Tom Neiman, who's standing by with Ken Heater. Tom, are you down there somewhere?
Yes, we've got the man, the most popular man in Iroquois right now is Kenny Heater. And if you tell me you can play any better than that, I'm going to call you a big fat liar. I mean, that was impressive. You couldn't have played any better, could you?
You know, against Grant Hill, we had the ball 9 times on Saturday, and we scored 8 touchdowns. The only time we didn't score was on a fumble. And we were about 20 yards going in, and I don't think they stopped us tonight. But it's just amazing. These kids they're champions now. The bigger the moment, the bigger the game, the more they step up. And tonight they were so special.
And Schoenfelder again, we talked about it at halftime. He was unbelievable in the first half, and they just couldn't bring him down. But you're not surprised at all.
I'm not. He's done it all year. He's just gifted. You know, he sees the field well. He reads things well, and you know, if too many people come up, he's just going to throw it over the top, and he executes our spread offense perfectly.
How cool is it to bring a town together like this? I mean, huge support. You got all these people up here. How cool is that for you?
It's one of the greatest feelings I've ever experienced. It probably won't even sink in until sometime tonight or tomorrow, but I'm living a dream, and I thank these guys for letting me tag along for the ride.
Appreciate it. Congratulations, Kenny.
Thank you.
Kenny Heater is the head coach of the state champion Iroquois Chiefs, and what a way to finish it, no matter what happens next year with the co-op, maybe co-op, whatever, with the Smet. But what a way to finish for Iroquois as they go 12-0. And we're going to try to grab the other man of the hour, Kyle Schoenfelder, here in a couple minutes, fellas.
Well, head coach, Coach Heater, giving the accolades to his players. I love it. I want to thank them for letting me take along on the ride.
Yep, that was very well put. Again, Iroquois has been very, very solid the last several years. They have not been able to break through, however, and get to the Dome. They get it done this year, and they pick up the championship.
More to come here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
The 2006 South Dakota High School Football Championships are funded in part through your membership in the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting, by Mid-Continent Communications, and by Dakota Bank.
No matter where you go across the Dakotas, you'll find a sense of spirit, a sense of belonging. As you pass through our cities and towns, you'll also find a company working hard to build our communities by supporting the very reasons we live here. Our schools, our events, our neighbors. It's a company that's been here for over 50 years and will continue to be here down the road. That company, Mid-Continent Communications. Part of our community, part of your life.
It's good to be in Dakota Territory. We have invested in the community regions we serve. We're proud to be in dozens of hometowns across the Dakotas. Dakota Bank, here for you.
It's the Indian and the white guy, Williams and Reed. South Dakota's favorite funny men are making a special appearance live Friday, December 8th. Join us in person at the Knutson Theater on the USD campus in Vermilion. Tickets are available by calling 800-456-0766. Tickets are just $10, and all proceeds benefit the Friends of South Dakota Public Broadcasting. The show will air live on statewide SDPB television. Seating is limited. Call 800-456-0766 today.
Saturday at 10, 9 Mountain.
Welcome back to the Dakota Dome. I'm Craig Maddock along with Mike Henriksen. And the Iroquois Chiefs with a rout of the Cologne Cowboys tonight, 64-26. Statistically, virtually everything devoted with one man.
Yep.
As Kyle Schoenfelder, a huge night.
But again, take a look. If
Cologne put some numbers up.
Yeah, if you saw that, even in first downs, rushing yards, yeah, they're less. But, you know, total yards, about 140 difference. Time of possession, though, Cologne owned that. But, again, the difference was the turnovers, and the biggest difference was Kyle Schoenfelder.
Big-time plays, and Tom Neiman is with the MVP.
All right, Kyle, you got turf toe. Your legs are cramping up, but never felt better, huh?
No, this is the best feeling in the world. I don't know how to explain it. It's just so amazing.
What's it feel like when you can do anything you want virtually? I mean, it just seemed like you could run it, you could throw it, do whatever you wanted tonight.
You know, we went out and our line dominated up front, and that, you know, they opened up holes for us, and then we threw it over the top a couple times, and it was a great game all around for us.
That 80-yard touchdown run right away, just got rid of the nerves, and then you settled in right after that, huh?
Oh yeah, that kind of set the tone for the game for us right away, and off from there we went.
Defensively all year, have you guys been that good?
Yeah, our defense has stepped up this year. It was by far our best defense all 4 years that I've started, so it was great to go out and play like that.
Excellent game. I mean, that was one of the best performances we've seen. You set a couple of records here, and it was great watching you, man.
Thank you. I had no idea I set a new record, so it feels great.
Okay. Go enjoy your popularity tonight, and we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Thanks a lot. Kyle Schoenfelder and Iroquois will win it big time tonight in the 9B championship, guys.
Thanks, Tom. Highlights from tonight's ball game. A lot of that with Kyle Schoenfelder. Started things off with an 80-yard touchdown run.
Second play of the game, he set the tone.
Cologne, they come back, though, and intercepted. Schoenfelder had that interception. That was his only interception of the night, as Sherman was picked off a few times tonight. And big run by Abram Smith. Smith was able to get in a couple of times tonight.
Things were looking cool for folks from Iroquois, huh? And look at this run. That is just as tough of a run by Derek Beck as you're going to see all weekend.
He had 2 touchdowns tonight. Here's Sherman with the touchdown. And Sherman, he got in once tonight. 4 interceptions, though, by Sherman. That certainly didn't help tonight. Touchdown pass, completion.
Yep, just shy of the touchdown. And here's
Jeffrey
where
Langland.
Yep, and here's where Schoenfelder officially went over the total yardage mark for the night on his 6th touchdown of the evening.
Abram Smith even got an interception. Adrian Smith with the pick. They did it on both sides of the ball, Mike.
They really did.
Iroquois finishes out 12-0 in a state championship. Congratulations to Kenny Heater in his 5th season with the Iroquois Chiefs.
And there you see the final touchdown of the evening.
We'll wrap things up when we come back from the Dome here on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
My name is Dr. Heloise Westbrook. I came from Vermont, but I was originally born in upstate New York. Coming to Aberdeen and setting up a practice was excellent. I've established what I feel some very long-lasting friendships. I enjoy Aberdeen's bike trails. It does offer the opportunity for me to get out. Life is good in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Team up with nutrition. Zinc strengthens your immune system. Iron helps carry oxygen to muscles. Protein is necessary to build a strong body. Team up with beef. It's What's for Dinner, brought to you by South Dakota beef producers through their Checkoff program.
We're your friends and your neighbors. We're a part of your communities. That's why your local Touchstone Energy Cooperatives are proud to be a sponsor of South Dakota high school activities.
When we shine as one.
Lunchtime. What are you in the mood for?
Something different. Something. What's the word? Something.
New. The word is new. As in Subway restaurant. New blackened Cajun steak sandwiches. Subway. Eat steak.
KSFY. For you in Vermilion. KSFY. For you.
We are done with day one at the Dome, the South Dakota High School Football Championships. Scotland is your Class 9A champ. They beat Gettysburg today. Parker wins it in 9AA with a win over Elkton. And here this evening, the Iroquois Chiefs go 12-0 on the season, win their first ever state football championship, 64-26 over Cologne. We are back tomorrow afternoon here at the Dome with the 11-man start of the 11-man games. We'll start with 11B, Aberdeen Roncalli and St. Thomas More in the rematch of last year's 11B championship game. That'll hit the air at 4 o'clock Central Time. And then tomorrow night, the 11A championship, Canton and Del Rapids. A couple of first-timers, or Del Rapids anyway, a first-timer here at the Dome. And we'll see what they can do against Canton tomorrow night in the 11A championship game. Again, we'll hit the air at 3:30 with the pregame, 4 o'clock with Aberdeen Roncalli and St. Thomas More tomorrow afternoon here at the Dome. Thanks for checking in. I'm Tom Neiman for Mike Henriksen, Craig Maddock, and Steve Toom, and the SDPB crew. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night.